You know what the truth is. I ain't finna do all that. See me beat me on block like Matumbo. If it's beef, we gon' turn it into gumbo. He gon' fall off that ladder, watch him tumble. I get dough, guess that's how the cookie crumbles. Call fire on the play, he's a pump faker. What type of money did you partake in? At the Lotta's with some models, we was parlaying. You see the roses all carpooling. Call foul on the play, he's a pump faker. What type of money did you partake in? At the lighters with some models, we was parlaying. You see the roses all carpooling. Shit, man. You pump faking, I didn't charge you right, nigga. You see the roses carpooling, little nigga. Nah. Call foul on the play, he's a pump faker, ain't he? Shit. Call foul on the play, he's a pump faker. Give him 9 to 5 shots on his lunch break. It was really 95 cause he's a cupcaker. I know your homie died now, but what comes later? Sit your silly ass down in that lunch chair, nigga. All big bank Gucci's, yeah I get him, you ain't heard about me. Ops like them Rolls Royce and brothers hurt. Man, it dies the first shot, but was sure I made him swerve. I got gang in this bitch, so you better choose your words. Brought the mud in the club, brought the slugs in the club. Broke niggas hanging over, gon' end up like black. Don't even look at my chain, that'll get you whacked up. Bad apple, what's in my bag? It ain't a MacBook. Call fire on the play, he's a pump faker. What type of money did you partake in? At the Lotta's with some models, we was parlaying. You see the roses all carpooling. Call foul on the play, he's a pump faker. What type of money did you partake in? At the lighters with some models, we was parlaying. You see the roses all carpooling. Shit, man. You pump faking, I didn't charge you right, nigga. You see the roses carpooling, little nigga. Nah. Call foul on the play, he's a pump faker, ain't he? Shit. Call foul on the play, he's a pump faker. All you do is pump fake, niggas send a shot. LJ, MJ, made him Millie Rock. 100,000 to the face, made me Diddy Bop. Heard they wanna get my chain, they some silly ops. High as fuck on the booth, got the mud on the table. Nerd thought he caught me locking off the judge till I sprayed him. When thugs cry, they start singing like Damon. See now y'all homies at the club writing statements. No Wayne on Powerpuff, Charlie Angels. Professor X, the nigga right out the equation. Holy moly, my neck icier than bowlies. The fuck up on my comment, you the police. Call fire on the play, he's a pump faker. What type of money did you partake in? At the Lotta's with some models, we was parlaying. You see the roses all carpooling. Call foul on the play, he's a pump faker. What type of money did you partake in? At the Lotta's with some models, we was parlaying. You see the roses all carpooling. Shit, man. You pump faking, I didn't charge you right, nigga. You see the roses carpooling, little nigga. Nah. Call foul on the play, he's a pump faker, ain't he? Shit. Call foul on the play, he's a pump faker.
We go hard in the yard with a library card. Somebody please call foul on the play because this W.H.I is a pump faker, man. These people pretend like they want to debate. They pretend like they won't smoke. They pretend like they want to get in the ring with us. They want to get their issue, that they want the intellectual battle. They pretend like it. They talk a good game, but they never follow through. And what do we call these people? Pump fakers, people that don't actually take the shot, but make it seem like they want to take the shot. You know, we had a few individuals, man, that we give invitations to on the channel to come and debate us. A formal debate. You know, y'all run away from formal debates like roaches run away from raid. You guys run away from formal debates like roaches run away from raid. We tell you guys over and over again, hey, we can have a formal debate, 3 rounds, 15 minutes in a Q&A segment. Why are you guys allergic to actual formal debates? What you want to do is hide in the comment section. And that's why I like that part of that song. It says, get out of my comment section, you the police. We don't want you in the comment section. Anybody can get on there and be a kung fu warrior. We want you to actually have a formal debate where you have to prove and cite sources and formulate your argument that way. A lot of you guys are cowards, and your spinal column consists of jello, man. You guys ain't got no spine. What is those? What are they called? Protozoans? The animals that don't have spines, like sponges and starfish. That's the category we're putting you guys in, man. So stop being afraid. A lot of you guys are pump fakers, man. Certified pump fakers. Pretend like you gonna get in that ring. Pretend like you want that smoke. Then when it come time to you to get in that ring and test the waters with the sharks, y'all tuck y'all tail, man. Y'all find 1,000 excuses to not show up. And that's what we're gonna be discussing tonight. Since this brother don't want to show up, we're gonna expose him as a pump faker. And my brother W.H.I, with no further ado, introduce yourself and let the people know what's going on with this individual. This W.H.I.
Shalom, everyone. Shalom. This is the Hebrew of Israel. So on the show, as y'all know, my YouTube channel, I have this person who keeps trolling in the chat, and he said that he wanted to debate me. I'm actually going to show that that screenshot that he had where he wanted to debate me. But then every time I try to set up a debate, he would say, "Nah, I can't do it." The person that I'm living with, they're asleep, so I can't do it. I'm like, "So can't you go to a different area in the house?" And he said he lives in a 2-story house, by the way. So it's like you can definitely find somewhere quiet. But he's like, "Nah, I can't do it. I can't do it." And then he's still trolling me, following me on Facebook. He would I'll make a post on a Facebook page, and he would just start spamming his false narrative. And also, people like other Yap Gang members would like what I said. They'll click the like button on Facebook, and then they'll do the laugh emoji for him, and they'll block he'll block them. He'll block them just for emojis. So and then eventually he ended up blocking me, but he left a voice message that was very interesting, and I'm going to actually play that for y'all, and then I'm going to show you the text message, the very first comment he made, where he said he wanted to debate me. And I keep on trying to get him to get into these debates, and he's like, "Nah, he doesn't want to debate me because I'm apparently uneducated." So I'm going to just show you this voice message. This is the last thing he said to me.
Wait. Are you uneducated because you're black? Is it because you're black, W.H.I?
I think that's it. It's actually funny he said that day, because literally I had took my midterm exam and made it like a 92 on it. And so he's like, "You're not educated." I'm like, "Bro, I just now made a 92 in my midterm."
Right. He also levied the allegation that you're not in college. You don't have any access to academics resources. And you're literally a college student.
Exactly. Like I can get on ResearchGate. I can get on Science magazine. Like, come on, bro.
Right. Oh, racism, man. I tell you what. Oh, he's a black guy. What does he know about college? He probably doesn't even have a high school diploma. Didn't he say that?
He literally said that. He's like, "Do you have a GED or something?" I was like,
"Yeah,
oh, wow."
Yeah. We tell you guys that a lot of you internet people are racist, man. Black and white. Tonight, we just so happen to be dealing with a white Hebrew Israelite that is racist. And we tell you guys at the core and crux of your argument, it's racism. That's all it is. This man assumed that W.H.I was not a college student. He assumed that W.H.I had a GED because he's black. Think about that's pure racism. That's blatant racism. So go ahead, man. Let these people. Once y'all guys hear his voice, man, he sounds like, I don't even know how else to put this. He sounds like a bitch. I don't know how else to put this. Go ahead, W.H.I.
Yeah, man. Here, I pulled up the audio.
Watch this.
It gets me every time. It's crazy. All right, so here we go.
No audio. Did you click the share audio?
My bad. You said, did I click the share audio?
Leave your mic open because I don't think this is a tab, so you have to leave your mic open to let them hear the
Okay.
feedback.
My bad. My bad.
No, check this fucking out, man. I'm gonna ask you a simple damn question. Are you educated or not? What's your high school like? You got a high school degree? You got a GED? You got a college degree? What's your education like? Because if you don't have access to these academic fucking articles, I'm not wasting my time on a little prick like you. You get what I'm saying? I don't know where you living in this fantasy world that you can try to demand me get on fucking chat and post and tag your little boyfriends to a fucking Facebook comment, have my fucking phone blowing up. For you? Who are you? You are an uneducated little prick. I know you don't have no education. I know you don't have no college degree. That's why you can't access these fucking academic fucking articles. I know you can't look at these fucking Y chromosomes like I can.
All right, so there's the audio of that. Sorry for your guys' ears for that. I know it's probably jarring.
Hold on. Avery, read that bottom one
Let me see.
so that people will know that we're not joshing on this. Are you even? Yeah. You want me to read
Are you
it?
even college educated? I
Don't think you are.
This is.
Are you even college educated? I don't think you are. Do you even have access to fully view academic articles that require institution login credentials? Yes or no? This is the guy. Danaoi Danaan is what he calls himself.
When I read, when I, oh my God, when I have the, when I make my videos, do I not show y'all the papers? Like, well, I'm not talking to y'all specifically, but I'm like to this guy. Like, you literally know that I'm quoting papers. I have on the left-hand side of the screen always the title and the author of the paper. And then on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side is the title, on the right-hand side is, the underlined specific portion of the paper that's important. Like, I show everything. Like, what are you talking about? All I do is just read and quote papers and books. Like, that's all I do. And then there's a little bit of segment where I might give my own input, but that's it. I mean, this is the same situation with Hebrew Israelism, Jacob Israel, but it's like, come on, bro. So let me switch now to the first comment that he made where he wanted to debate me so I can have evidence or show y'all evidence that he in fact wanted to debate me.
Before we go there, can we please show the audience a video because he sounds just like this guy, if I may. I want you guys. This is who he reminds me of, Ralphie May. He sounds like this guy.
Dog. Did I tell you we're gonna dog?
This Friday.
Of course, I'm gonna get an ad.
Yo, this is my unicorn. Everyone's running to meet Lou.
So the Danaoi guy,
Hugs now?
You never had
he
a
sounds
Lulu?
like the comedian Ralphie May, high-pitched voice.
Rated PG-13.
Hey, that's the fat guy wake up call when you're in two pairs of handcuffs. All right, because you're so goddamn fat. One pair
Doesn't that sound
Kind
just
of
like
does
him?
sound like,
you're in Portland, and I haven't given you
bro.
the downtown Portland greeting, which is, "Hey man, can I get $2?"
This is him. You got into an argument with Ralphie May.
Stinky, dirty white people. Jesus Christ. These are the stinkiest, dirtiest white people I've ever seen in my life. You
All right. That's enough of that. Go ahead.
All right, so let me pull up real quick. Let me see. I'm gonna pull up some of the comments he said. All right, so I want to find the specific comment where he said he wants to debate me, but also in Facebook, he sent a private message as well when it came to the debate. If I can't find it through my screenshots I took on my phone on YouTube, I might have to go to Facebook. So let me skim through real quick. Yeah, I'm going to go to Facebook. So here is let me see. Yeah, let me just go to go to Facebook. So here's the messages that was sent via Facebook Messenger. And I still want to have this debate. If he's down to have this debate, I'll still go ahead. I might still go ahead and do it. From the way he sounds, I kind of feel like it's just going to be a screaming match, and then I don't.
But that's why it's a formal debate. 15 minutes each. No one speaking during the other person's round. And here at the source, we will dock you for that. Meaning, if you speak during your opponent's round, they get another minute for each infraction. So if you interrupt him 19 times, they get 19 more minutes tacked on to the 15-minute presentation that they already have that they can use, which can be huge, especially in a close debate. 19 minutes can decide the debate.
That's a good idea, actually. All right. Well, I'm down then. All right. So I said that's me in the purple. I said Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time is when I can do the debate. The debate will be about which haplogroup is proto-Semitic, E or J. And he said that's too late. So he's already making excuses. And by the way, 9:30 his time is 10:30. 9:30 my time is 10:30 his time. He says it right here. I said Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. He says that is 10:30 my time. That is too late. Let me know when you can do earlier in that day. Your time before 8 p.m. works for me. I said, you awake? Because he's literally saying all this at 9 o'clock my time, which is 10 o'clock his time. So I'm like, you awake? He said, I'm going to bed. It's 10:14 p.m. I'm like, okay. And this is a part of it. I said, bro, I can only do, I said, bro, I can only debate after 9 o'clock p.m. when the house is quiet. The closest time I can debate is Wednesday after 9 o'clock. And then he says, I have people sleeping at that time. And again, he has a 2-story house where he claims to live in. So I'm like, you can find a quiet place in a 2-story house. And so I sent him the link for him to join. This was during the Facebook debate we were having in the comment section. And obviously it's seen by 6 people. He never clicked the link. And he starts saying a whole bunch of stuff, talking about getting all mad every time I send him the link. This is where this debate was going on. And he blocked anybody who tried to talk. I sent him the link again. He says, you don't have access to log in academic sources. You can only access free information. And then I send him the link to debate. And it's 11, so he has no excuse to not join, because it's already late. He's texting, and then next thing I know, I just screenshot a bunch of times when I sent him the link. So this is evidence that I did try to get him to come. All he did was send an anger emoji when I sent him the link and a laugh emoji when I sent him the link. So that to me indicates that he's scared. He doesn't want to do the debate. He just would rather stay in Facebook and argue in the comment section, which is not what I like to do. That's a waste of time, if you ask me. Send him the link again, laughing emoji. And so this is when he starts getting into his thought process of things when it comes to DNA. And I'm not going to get into it yet, but that's what I wanted to show y'all. I'm going to get into some of the comments and the things that he says, proving that he's a troll and proving that he's a racist. Did you want to get into that segment right now, or what?
I want to point out that we did have a scheduled debate that he claimed to agree on, but I overslept that day, so the platform wasn't available, because he'll probably watch this like, oh, well, I did agree. Yeah, but I overslept that day. We tried to reschedule it, and this guy, from that point on, he became more and more difficult, showing us that he did not really want this debate from the get-go. He was finding a scapegoat out of this debate from the get-go. So yeah, I just want to put that out there. And also, Orthodox Morons also challenge you to a debate, brother.
Oh, you did. Let me see.
Yeah,
I want
he
to
said,
debate you on the validity of Iceman Israelite tribes. You are looking in the wrong spot for haplogroup G. The true land of Israel is in Switzerland. All right, so I guess I will be debating. Oh, wait, so you'll be debating in favor of haplogroup G and the
in
land of
favor of
Israel
tail
being in
twins.
Switzerland. Oh, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. I mean,
Orthodox water is
if
funny,
you use
man.
mental gymnastics, I'm sure you can.
All you gotta say is, all you gotta say is that they're using the white man's sources, and you automatically win.
Well, actually, Orthodox, I think a better place for Israel, if you want to make haplogroup G of the Israelites, I would say place the ancient land of Israel either in Georgia or in Italy. I think that would be better. Oh, I'm already helping him. Daggone.
Actually, the land of Israel is where the ark rested.
Hey, you already got it right there. You know, Ark rested in Georgia. Haplogroup G's in Georgia.
Yes.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or haplogroup G. Okay. Man, the silliness, the silliness. But let's get into some of this dude's comments. So let me see. So here's some of the things that he likes to say. I want to find some juicy ones real quick. Also, I saw that Sean was debating this guy in my comment section. I wasn't even aware of it because sometimes I don't know when I get notifications, and I don't check my YouTube as much as I probably should. But let me see what he said. Hashtag man orthodox. All right, so here's one of the comments he made. He says wrong. He's talking to somebody in my comment section, and he says wrong. Nilots have nothing to do with Hamitic or Semitic languages or lineages from the Bible. So Nilots have nothing to do with Hamitic or Semitic languages or lineages from the Bible. Now, if y'all are familiar with my latest videos on YouTube, I actually do have a model for whom the Nilots would descend from. Yeshub, you can speak on it as well when I'm done. But from my research, I would say Nilots would descend from Ham. They would be Hamites, and they would specifically descend from Cush. They would be the ancient kingdom of Cush, which was in modern day Sudan, the ancient land of Nubia. Those peoples likely spoke a Nilo-Saharan language, and those peoples would be Nilots. I read papers literally dealing with Nilotic people. So I do believe that they are from the lineage in the Bible. You can find them in the Bible. They would be Cushitic Hamites. You can go into this too as well, Yeshub, if you want. And I can also pull up sources if y'all like for evidence of that. But you can dig into that comment if you want, Yeshub. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'm going to just pull up my genetic tables PowerPoint when I covered it with the sources cited in it.
Yeah, I'll let you do that.
Pretty simple concept here. We know who the early Cushites were, and we're not going to play. We know where Cush is. It would be in northern Sudan. That's where the ancient kingdom of Cush would have came from, and the precursors for the ancient kingdom of Cush is the pre-Kerma population. Now, what's interesting about the pre-Kerma population is that we actually have the ancestral skeletal remains there, and they have actually sequenced the DNA of those skeletal remains. So there's no question to who the Hamites would have been, or the Cushites would have been, with the fact that we actually have skeletal remains that are old enough to represent an early population that predate or are the precursors or the originators or progenitors, if you will, of the Cushite kingdom. So I'm gonna just pull up, and we done this video on Genesis 49ers. You can look it up, the genetic tables of nations, and it's also, if you click the channel, you can look at our playlist, and on the playlist education, there should be a playlist titled education. Within that playlist, the genetic tables of nations, the genetic table of nations, should be within that playlist. All right, so I have the PowerPoint here, and we're going to go straight to the meat and potatoes of this just to cut this real quick. Let me share my screen, and you guys will see. And this is why these guys fear to come on a channel in a debate. Be honest. You guys are afraid that you're going to have to deal with source after source after source after source, citation after citation after citation after citation, because what we do here at Genesis 49ers Yap Game, what we do is that we actually do extensive research on these topics, and we build and formulate strong arguments based off of empirical data. See, we let the evidence mold our theory, not our theory mold the evidence. You understand? So
right.
we're in a league of our own when it comes to that, because you guys that are commenting on Facebook, you're used to doing what? De novo arguments, making it up on the spot, whatever pops in your head and sounds good. The difference with us, we actually went out and read the books, bought the material, spent the money, spent the time, and researched the matter. We inquired, right, on the matter. All right, so here's from my presentation I've done before. Again, this presentation can be seen in full on the channel. Just click on the Genesis 49 logo, go to the playlist titled Education. You should see the genetic table of nations within that playlist. So in this, I explain the triad structure of humans, how you can divvy up the haplogroups into three major genetic lineages. And right here on the screen, you see Nathaniel Jensen. We divided DE being Shem, AB being Ham, and the CF lineages being Japheth. That's how we divide it. But Nathaniel Jensen has a different understanding of that. But what I am extrapolating from this man is the fact that he realizes that there is a triad structure of humans. Okay, when you deal with Ham, you go to the book of Josephus, Antiquities of Jews, book 1, chapter 6. And it tells you the land that they will possess. And I go straight to the crux of the argument here. It says, the time has not all heard the name of Cush for the Ethiopians, over whom he reigned, are even at this day, both by themselves and by all men in Asia, called Cushites. So we know who Cush is. We know where they are. This is northern Sudan. We have the DNA of the Sudan. This is the genetic patterns of Y chromosome and mitochondrial DNA variation with implications of peopling of the Sudan by our geneticist, Ibrahim Muntazer, University of Khartoum, where you can find this article. It says the area known today as Sudan may have been the scene of pivotal human evolutionary events, both as the corridor for ancient and modern migrations, as well as the venue of crucial past cultural evolution. Several questions pertaining to the pattern and succession of different groups in early Sudan have been raised to shed light on this aspect. Ancient DNA and present DNA collections were made and studied using Y chromosome markers for ancient DNA, Y chromosome and mtDNA markers for present DNA. Bone samples from different skeletal remains of burial sites from Neolithic, Meroitic, post-Meroitic, Christian periods in Sudan were collected from Sudan National Museum. So they have the oldest DNA in Sudan going to the Neolithic. These would be your precursors for the Kushite peoples. Here it is, Kushite source population. To generate Y chromosome specific haplogroups A-M13, BM60, FM89, and Y, or obviously YAP markers, which define a deep ancestral haplotypes and phylogenetic tree of Y chromosomes were used. Haplogroups A-M13 were found at high frequencies among Neolithic samples. Why is this important? Because when we read Josephus, the land allotment is telling you where people went as they first dispersed. And we know where these early proto-Kushites, if you will, would have been. They would have been in northern Sudan. And we see the DNA there from the Neolithic time, Mesolithic time, haplogroup A-M13. So Kush would have been, without a doubt, haplogroup A. And then you see the other haplogroups come in the Meroitic, post-Meroitic, and Christian periods. That's much later than the Neolithic times. So that's just quick, easy understanding of that. Also here in Ibrahim Muntazer's book, The Genetics of African Populations, he recapitulates this point Analysis of DNA samples from burial sites in northern Sudan pre-Kermer support a predominance of Hawaii haplogroup A during the Mesolithic. Meso meaning middle stone period. So this is an empirical fact. All right, Avery, you want to touch on that some more? Or you want to move on to the next point?
No, you covered it great. Pretty much you disproved his point how Nilots, actually do have a lineage. You can share my screen. Do have a lineage in the Bible, and it's from Cush. And one thing you're going to notice about this guy as you look at more of my comments is that he's pretty much racist. He doesn't think black people come from Shem, Ham, and Japheth. I don't know what he thinks black people are. I think he actually does have a comment saying that we're the beast of the field or something like that. I'm going to find it here in a second, but he is a legitimate racist. So let's get to that. All right, so here's one of his comments. He says, just like Ham, Japheth, and Shem all started in the Caucasus, which is kind of ignorant to say. So let's break this down. He believes, and I'm going to show another comment, he believes that the ark rested in Mount Ararat, and that's actually false. And I know a lot of Christians, modern Christians say it, and a lot of even fellow Hebrews say it. The ark rested in Mount Ararat, but that's actually Armenian tradition, and it kind of grew into Western European tradition as well. But that's not really, the tradition of the ancient Hebrews, and we have sources to prove it. I'm going to show it when we get to it. I actually would say the ark rested in Mount Judy. There's a lot of evidence for it, and I'll bring out that evidence here in a second. But as you can see right here, he believes that because Shem, Ham, and Japheth settled in the Caucasus, that Caucasians, which is kind of funny because it's like if I was on a ship and my ship crashed in Hawaii, does that automatically make me Hawaiian? No. So yeah, his logic is very basic, I guess you can say, in that way. So let's go through some more of his comments real quick. Want to get to something interesting, like some of the comments he says about, like right here, you can kind of get his model, his idea of what he believes Shem, Ham, and Japheth is. So right here, I'm just going to show you the first part of his comment. I'm not going to read all of it because it's pretty much irrelevant. But he says, haplogroup J equals Ham / Shem. And if you read the rest of his this little dissertation, he pretty much tries to explain why he believes Ham and Shem is haplogroup J. And basically his model is that Shem, Ham, and Japheth, all of them, all three sons of Noah, are J markers. And everybody else who's not a J marker, well, I don't know who they are. I guess they're just not descendants of Noah. They're just the others, the other peoples. So that's why he's going at me so hard when it comes to this specific video, haplogroup J and I, academic and biblical origins, because in this video, I basically lay out that haplogroup I from my model, from what I see, would be Ashkenaz, and haplogroup J would be Togarmah, who are both brothers in scripture, and Ashkenaz being Germanic peoples who have haplogroup I, and Togarmah being haplogroup J, who are Caucasian peoples. But check out that video for more information on that. He says right here, haplogroup J equals Ham. So basically, again, he's just trying to make everyone with J only the descendants of Noah, which is a bit racist. So right here, he goes through a long dissertation about how how we have pretty much nothing to do with the scriptures. I guess I'll read this one. So he says, he's talking to somebody in my comment section. He says, you clearly don't understand that Iwambewene never came out of the Lesser Caucasus, of the mountains of Ararat, around the time of 6,000 years ago. So that's one of his, methods of saying that we're basically not humans, that we don't come out of the Caucasus. So continuing, he says, that destroys any nonsense theory you have. A and B isn't Ham. Only naive and ignorant people who have no knowledge of anthropology and archaeology would make such a claim. Now, Yeshua, didn't you just read from anthropology and archaeology books dealing with that very
Yeah,
subject?
yes, very extensively actually, and in detail. So,
Yeah, we're ignorant though. So continuing, it says Canaanites weren't black, Hittites weren't black, Philistines weren't black, Mizraim weren't black, Cushites weren't black, Syrians weren't black, Elamites weren't black, first Christians weren't black. Ham, like Shem and Japheth, landed in the Lesser Caucasus. This is where the Caucasian race comes from. Facts over fantasies. Interesting. And it's kind of like his logic is so like Nazi oriented. I'm kind of surprised like him as a Jewish person is even like talking like this, because this is straight up Nazi type of rhetoric. Like,
can
oh,
you,
because you're not Caucasian, you're not a real human. Like, oh, you're not an Aryan, so you're not a real human, you know.
I'm sorry, Avery. Can you read that part where it says this is where the Caucasian race comes from? Facts
Yeah,
over fairy tales. Let's read that
yeah.
for me one more time, if you don't mind.
This So it says Ham, like Shem and Japheth, landed in the Lesser Caucasus. This is where the Caucasian race comes from. Facts over fantasies. Man, for real though. Like basically his whole mindset is only Caucasian peoples are descendants of Noah.
Yes,
Ah, man.
this is very
Straight up
racist,
Nazi.
and there's no act. Yeah, this is Nazism all over again. Come on, this is the Aryan race all over again.
Yep.
This is what this is. This is not
Switch all that
scientific.
with Aryan, and he would probably cry over that being a Nazi rhetoric.
Right. And again, this is something that we're going to talk about on the channel this week, actually. Pre-Adamites, because this is what he's alluding to. No black people are involved in this. No, we have no stake or no claim to the children of Noah. We are pre-Adamites. We are soulless creatures.
And let me actually get to that. Oh, my bad.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, brother. I didn't want to
Yeah.
spoil it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so he actually gets into some of that. So he's after a while, when you talk to him, at first he isn't blatantly racist. He kind of builds up to it like a volcano. So right here he kind of lets some of it out. So he says, and I think he's claiming to be quoting scripture right here, but he says, he's talking to this person. You obviously have no truth in you. Ironic. Anyways, history proves the descendants of Shem were not black. Now it's interesting that he says that, because doesn't the Perky A. Del Eleazar, Rabbi Eleazar, says that Shem is dark and comely? Like, I don't know why he's even alluding to Shem not being black, but anyways, it says right here Aramaic is still being used in Syria. I mean that is why you can't stand the fact that Iwambiwane cannot turn pale in the face from being ashamed. And then he quotes Isaiah chapter 29, verse 22. And it reads, therefore, thus saith Yahweh, who redeemed Abraham concerning the house of Jacob. Jacob shall not now be ashamed, neither shall his face now wax pale. And this is, by the way, English translation. I don't even know what the original Hebrew says, so that could be a whole. It may not even say what he's trying to make it say. Also, that could just be like literary, like figurative speech, because we know that this is ancient Semitic texts, and they, the way they said things is very, it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Not esoteric, but it's poetic in a sense. So
Actually, Avery, a lot of camp members will use this verse to say, see, there are no white Jews because it says Jacob's face shall not wax pale, meaning grow pale. So the camps use this scripture, and that's incorrect as well.
Oh, I didn't really get that. Okay.
What this is talking about is, I think it's called, any medical students watching, forgive me for butchering this Latin word, but it's pallor mortis. Let me type it into the Google real quick. Let me Google warriors for a minute.
Is that basically just poetic speech?
It is metaphoric. It's basically saying Jacob as a whole should not die off. That's basically what it's saying. But this is what it is. It's something that occurs after death, when your melanin becomes basically your melanocytes become they begin to decompose like all the rest of your cells in your bodies. And that's what true death is, was when the cells begin to die in your body, right? So your melanin dies as well. And when your melanin dies, as you guys are going to see on the stream, you get this word here, pallor mortis. Pallor meaning paleness, mortis meaning death. The first stage of death is an after-death paleness that occurs in those with light or white skin. An optoelectronic color measurement device is used to measure pallor mortis. So going pale, we even have sayings in the English language about that. You know, you look pale as a dead man, because when you die, any expression in your skin begins to die as well. This is what this is referring to. And it's just metaphoric speech for saying Jacob will not die off as a people. That's all this is saying.
Yeah, and he tried to turn into some type of like skin doctrine, some type of like evidence that, you know, that is, or Jacob is white or something like that.
No, that's not what that's saying.
And then he says, when do blacks lose their blackness? When they are ashamed of something or of someone's child. So yeah, he's ramping up. Oh, you can share my screen, by the way. He's ramping up his semi-racism. So let's go to the next comment. We're not going to read this one. We're actually going to skip. Actually, here's an interesting one. This actually proves that he doesn't know anything about genetics and haplogroups. So let's actually read this one. This is from my brother Sean. Shout out to Yap Gang. So what Sean says is that please send me a source, a study or article that I can read and compare this to the sources that suggest all subclades of F-M89 are considered Eurasian / Japheth. And then he says, the guy with the Hebrew letters, Dan, he says, see, what the heck are you talking about? When did I ever mention F-M89? You are you are clowning for real. And then Sean says, hold on, I can't see. Then Sean says, what haplogroup did J come from? And then Dan says, haplogroup IJ is a human Y chromosome DNA haplogroup, an intermediate descendant of haplogroup IJK. IJK is a branch of haplogroup HIJK. And so then Sean says, very good. Then you know that all of them come from haplogroup F. Also known as F-M89. And they're all Eurasian. Now, is what Sean said correct, Elcom? Yeshub. Is what Sean said correct?
Let me read it again. My bad. I was researching on that pallor mortis. Let me look. He says, what haplogroup did J come from? And he responds, haplogroup IJ is a human Y chromosome DNA. And haplogroups, he basically copy and paste. Very good. And you know that all of them came from haplogroup F, also known as FM89, and they're all Eurasian. What he said was correct. They all do come from FM89.
Agreed. That is true, and can get ready to pull up the evidence for that, because what Dan says is very fascinating. Dan says, oh man, he says a lot. Oh wait, I know that's Sean. All right, so wait, did I get the right screenshot? Let me see. Yeah, okay. I'm going to skip what Sean says because he basically kind of repeats it. But right here, Dan says, no, no, it didn't come from F. J does not come from F. He says if you read, you would clearly see that. I'm like, bro, what? And then he says, unlike E1B1A being non-existent in Israel, the haplogroup F-M89 was found in Tel Megiddo, Israel, dating back to 3,450 years ago. So can you pull up the evidence, Yeshub, of J descending from haplogroup F? Because he said, if
I
you
can't
read,
believe
you clearly would see that it's not true.
I can't believe the man that said he has access to academia and our haplogroups that we don't have access to, and that we're assuming that you didn't even have a GED or a high school equivalent degree, would not know this simple fact about phylogeny.
Agreed. It's crazy.
I mean, you could easily wiki. You can easily wiki this. You can be a Google warrior on this. But
We'll
I'm
give you
actually
the cheat
gonna.
sheet. You can use open book.
Yeah, you can use that, but I'm gonna go to Van Drine because I love Van Drine's work. Right, I'm gonna go to Van Drine. Let me drag and drop him here. So check this out. We're gonna go to Van Drine's work, and he does a lovely breakdown of haplogroup F. Right, do this real quick. You can easily Google this as well. But I like going to my resources here. So if you go to Van Drine's work, he plots out each haplogroup and tells you their phylogeny. Tells you this clade comes from this clade split into this clade, and so on and so forth. And this is gonna be real quick, easy money, man. But he's claiming we're the ones that don't have access to academic sources. He's levying racist allegations that black men don't educate themselves. They don't do that. That's a taboo, right? We don't do that. So this is
Yep.
Van Drine's work. Paternal lineage F M89 splits into the subclades G, M201,
Shout out
and
Theo.
HIJK. HIJK splits into subclades H and IJK. Paternal clade IJK splits into lineages IJ and K. The Y chromosome haplogroup IJ gave rise to paternal lineages I and J. So as you can see, that J indeed descends from F, which this will also include the tail twins. Tail twins descend from FM89 as well. They descend from the ancient Europeoid forefathers. That's who they descend from. So this is clear, easy. So for the person that's claiming we don't have any academic prowess, which seems like within
Wait, are you saying something? I can't hear you.
Am I breaking up? Can you hear me? I should be good because I got a strong signal. Can you hear me?
All right, I hear you now.
Yeah, so I basically was saying, so for someone saying that we don't have access to academic sources, we're not educated, well, we're well read, and we have a plethora of sources that we can extrapolate from, like this book here, Ethno-Linguistic Prehistory. And this, I'm giving you the entire title here. We've used this source before on the channel. I got it from Brill, paid a pretty penny for this book. Ethno-Linguistic Prehistory, The Peopling of the World from the Perspective of Language, Genes, and Material Culture by George Van Drine. And it's pretty clear that haplogroup J descends from haplogroup FM89. There's no way around it.
But Dan says, no, it didn't come from F. If you read, you would clearly see that. Should we take Dan's word? I mean, he is telling us that it's not from F. I don't know. Bro, get out of here with your silliness. Anyways, so going to the next comment. Just gonna skip. Wait a minute. I think this was a good one. Oh yeah, here's kind of a good one. I wonder if I should read it. Nah, just skip it. Let me go to some kind of interesting.
Notice in one of his comments, he calls Noah's Ark a myth story.
Yeah, let me just go to that one.
But Noah's Ark's a myth story. But he's in an earlier comment saying Noah's Ark rested in the Caucasus, and this is the origin of Caucasian peoples.
Right.
So
he's
notes the
basically
fourth
back.
song. Yeah.
Oh, he believes in it today, but he doesn't believe in it now. That he's just arguing at this point. That's all he wants to do. He says in this comment, no, he won't be one A. Not during the so-called, he even says so-called Noah's Ark flood story. And it is R1B that Armenians carry, not E-M34, which is E1, B1, 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 2. Now, actually, I'm just going to debunk that part real quick. Actually, some Armenians do carry E. He's talking to Sean in this. Armenians carry haplogroup J, R, E, and I think G. It should probably be here. So here is actually an ancient sample of haplogroup E in Armenia. I'm not going to pronounce that area that we found it, but this is actually in the middle late Bronze Age, I believe. We find 2 E samples, and some people actually believe that these E samples in Armenia could possibly come from Akkadians, who are a Semitic people. But going back to the comments, but yes, there are some ancient Armenian samples with E, which is funny because people like to push, oh, Abraham, he's Caucasian, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, they're Caucasian. Abraham's Caucasian. Okay, so let's just hypothetically say that Abraham's Caucasian. He still could have had an E marker. E's in Armenia. It's in Bronze Age Armenia. Like E was getting around. So I just want to show y'all that, just in case people keep pushing this Caucasian E situation. Doesn't disprove anything. So let's go back to this. Let me go up a little bit because I can't really see on my thing. Into a long debate with Sean. We just went over that. Oh yeah, here's an interesting comment. So this kind of gives me more insight into his brain about what he believes. He says the Europeans are Israelites and Jews that carry specific haplogroups. The Israelites migrated up through the Black Sea, Caucasus region, and Second Ezra's. And I can't even verify that. I don't think it says that. But the Europeans are Israelites. That's
It doesn't say that at all. That scripture, 2 Ezra 13 and 40, we're all pretty much familiar with that scripture. That scripture does not say that they went into the Caucasus region. I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
He's talking about some British Israelism. What he's talking about?
Exactly.
Europeans are Israelites. What the? So who's Japheth if Europeans are Israelites? Most sources say that Japheth is the father of the Europeans. Let me pull that up. I did a video on this, and this dude is always in all my videos, and I'm like, why doesn't he pay attention? Anyways, let me see if I can find this. Is this it? Haplogroup J equals Japheth? No. I was a little bit more PC. Let me see.
Yeah, it's very telling. His comment on, Europeans are Israelites. And it's like, yeah, that's British Israelism, dude. That's not backed up by genetic studies.
Nope.
At all.
I mean, Indo-European isn't even a Semitic language.
Right. That's PIE, man. Proto-Indo-European. What are you doing?
There's a ton of evidence for. Oh yeah, you keep going. Let me see. Trying to find a good one.
Yeah, I mean, Japhet. Even if you whip out the old Bible maps that's inside your Bibles, they tell you Japhet is in Europe in your Bibles. Because this is why is this commonly believed? because of the historic writings in the land allotment of Japhet being the Greeks. You understand? Being positioned north of the lands of Shem, in the land of the cold, according to the Jubilees. And Josephus flats out says it. Europe. He flats out says it's Europe.
Right. So how is? Oh, my bad.
No, you got it, bro. Get it.
Yeah. Right. So how is how is Europeans going to be Israelites if literally most Jewish, Christian, Arabic, and other scholars are saying that Europeans are Japheth? So here's from Mercer. Dictionary of the Bible. I'm just going to read this one part that literally says, thus Japheth primarily became the ancestor of the modern day Indo-European family of nations. And it names a bunch of ancient peoples like, Greeks and Lydians and Cimmerians and Midi people, which are Iranians. I have more sources. I literally have a video detailing this, and he's seen it. So I don't know why he's speaking like this. Europe was Japheth's share, and his numerous offspring and their descendants in turn were the ancestors of all the greater European peoples like Franks, Latins, Britons, and others. Let's see. And Yeshub actually mentioned the Book of Jubilees. Let me pull that up real quick, actually, because that's actually a powerful point. It says in the Book of Jubilees, chapter 8, this is the land which came forth for Japheth, a great land in the north, but it is cold. And what's interesting is that if you look at the northern part of the Near East, it actually is very cold. It's very mountainous. The Zagros Mountains, the Armenian Highlands. This is also where Haplogroup J was heavily concentrated. But also, if you look at Bible maps, just simple Bible maps made by Christians and Jews, the Table of Nations, Genesis 10, it's pretty much the exact same location. Like, here's a Bible map of Japheth's territory in red, the northern part of the Near East. And this is why I like to stress to people in my videos that Shem wasn't just in the Middle East. Japheth was there too. So here is the northern part of the Near East where it's cold to the north. And here is Japheth's lot. It's the exact same thing. And also, this is where we see a lot of haplogroup J. J is heavily in those mountain areas in ancient times. This is why I posit that J is from Japheth, as well as lots of other forms of evidence. But let's see. Oh yeah, here's having the video where I talk about how in Georgia, shout out to Teo, how in Georgia haplogroup J was present in the Caucasus hunter-gatherers. And again, this would be the territory of Japheth, would it not be, Yeshua?
Absolutely correct. That will be the territory of Japheth, according to scholars, according to biblical academic studies. They will place Georgia, they will place the places of the north, like you just read in Jubilees, the places that are known to be cold, as being the domain of Japheth.
Yep. So we're going to go back to the comments. Let's see if I'm right there. So yeah, that's that comment, that ridiculous comment.
One thing before you address it. Remember you said he's actually watching the video and seeing the video that you brought this up. So I want to play this because this is what these dudes do. They're not listening to the material. They're hate watching. Mm-hmm. They're hate watching the material. They're not cognizant of what's actually going on during our presentations. Mm-mm. Because their dogma's kicking in, their hatred for the information is kicking in, right? So I want you guys to pay attention. This is very important. This is what all of our ops do when they watch our videos.
Before you play that clip,
what do you want to do?
Oh, I was just about to say, before you play that clip, I also post the title of the video where he's commenting, and that the title of that video that he's making all these claims is literally called Haplogroup J and Indo-Europeans, Greeks, Armenians, Iranians, and Indo-Aryans, where I quote all my sources for those peoples having J, those Indo-Europeans with J. Right. So yeah, you keep going.
Right. So when you said all that, in the video you stated, this is what they heard. They come to class, coming to learn. They come to Ivory's channel to watch his videos.
Nothing to be frightened about.
Some of them are afraid of Ivory.
Bro, for real, for real.
Oh, good grief. Yes, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. We were playing hangman. Studying? Oh, yes, ma'am. You're absolutely right. We should have been studying. But may I say something, ma'am? You seem to forget that you haven't given us any assignments yet. Now you've done it. Here comes a stupid assignment. Miss
Bro.
Halverson, did you repeat our assignment? Write a 500-word theme on what we did this summer? How do you teachers keep coming up with these great new ideas?
How do you teachers keep coming up with these great new ideas? But all they hear is a womp, 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 womp. But they continue to watch our videos. They continue to hate watch.
Man, it makes no sense. Like, bro, you could be doing something else. That's how you get them city miles. Just, man, never mind. Let me stop. But you could be like enjoying life instead of watching my stuff if you really don't like me. But anyways, so he says right here, no evidence detected. Blacks don't come from the Lesser Caucasus. Again, in order to be descendant of Noah, you have to come from the Caucasus. So just rereading that. No evidence detected. Blacks don't come from the Lesser Caucasus. Bantus never migrated down from Armenia or Turkey. You might want to read Genesis chapter 8, verse 4. Again, that is where the word Caucasian comes from. Wait, what? I took these screenshots, but I haven't read all these comments. That part is new to me. The word Caucasian comes from. Can you pull that up, Yeshu?
Hold on real quick. Read that part again.
He says, what the heck? You might want to read Genesis chapter 8, verse 4 again. That is where the word Caucasian comes from. Man, I give them this. They creative.
So Genesis 8 and 4 is not where the word Caucasian comes from. Genesis 8 and 4 is clear. It's talking about where the ark rested. The word Caucasian has nothing to do with the Bible, but it talks about where the ark is rested. I don't know when you want to segue into that point because it's a powerful point.
Yeah, we'll get to that here in a. Oh, actually, I guess we can get to it now. Let me see the next comment, and then we can get to it.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, we can get to that right now. Because the next comment deals with us being the beast of the field. So let's transition to that.
Black people, non-whites are the beasts of the field. This is why that we're able to mistreat them, enslave them, beat them,
Murder them.
Murder them, leave them deprived, give them no food relief because, hey, they're not even descendants of Noah. They're the beasts of the field. Guess what? Christ didn't even die for these people. They don't even have souls.
Mm-hmm. Technically, we're free game to be killed because the Most High was trying to kill us with the flood, but we managed to survive. So really, if we were killed by somebody, it's all fair and game, love and war, because we were supposed to have been killed by the waters. This is all future stuff that y'all are looking at. So let me.
And then when you call these people out, they're like, I don't believe in a racist doctrine. Yes, you do. That's a very racist doctrine. All non-white people are soulless beings that don't even descend from Noah.
Who are
and don't
supposed to
even
have
have a
been killed.
right to Christianity or Christ or salvation. Come on, man.
Right.
Bring it out, brother. Bring it out.
So here's a good book that y'all should check out. So first I'm going to deal with the evidence that the ark didn't rest in in Mount Ararat, and then I'm going to get to the evidence that it actually rested in Mount Judy, I would say. So here's a good book to check out. And as y'all know, lately in my videos, I've been dealing with Caucasian history. Although I'm making a lot of these jokes and stuff, I do think it is important that we do know a bit about indigenous, actual Caucasian history, people of the Caucasus, because knowing them can get us closer to knowing the true origins of haplogroup J and ancient peoples like Hurrians and such. But so when you read this, a lot of information is actually going to make sense in future videos, but because a lot of stuff in the text was was changed, unfortunately. But so this book is called Armenian Christianity Today: Identity, Politics, and Popular Practice. This is from edited by Alexander Adjedjanian, and I think he's Armenian, so I may have butchered that last name. Forgive me. So y'all might be familiar with this tradition that I've mentioned about the Armenians. Story of Noah has been supplemented in the Armenian tradition by the story of Hayek, the son of Noah's great grandson. By the way, that's Togarma, who is claimed to be the forefather of the Armenians. I underlined that part because I'm probably going to add it to future presentations, because the Armenians claim to descend from Togarma. And for some reason, you have a lot of people trying to say that the Armenians are Israelites and stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, their own mythology says they come from Japheth. Like, what are you talking about? But anyways, so here's the relevant portion of the of what we're trying to get out of. So it says, it is worth noting that contemporary to Armenian apostolic church discourse and popular knowledge, it is probably as late as the beginning of the second millennium AD when the localization of the biblical Mount Ararat was permanently moved from the highlands hemming upper Mesopotamia to Mount Massis in the heart of historical Armenian territory. So as it says in yellow, the location of Mount Ararat was kind of moved to where it is today, what we typically think of today. And it says that Mount Massius was a sacred mountain before, even before its identification with Ararat, and afterwards its symbolic importance for the Armenian issue has made Massius Armeniat crucial in the formation of modern Armenian identity. And so, really, this is more of an Armenian type of nationalism, I guess you can say. And for some reason, people in the West kind of adopted it. I don't know why they did. There's probably more history on it, but they adopted the idea of the ark resting in Mount Ararat. You can read that too as well. You should, while I get a drink of water real quick.
Oh my goodness gracious, it is over. Did I call it, Daniel? It's over. It's over, ladies and gentlemen.
It's over with, man. It's done for. As you can see, the literature tells you
I'll be back.
pretty much what they did here was appropriate the term Ararat from the Bible and applied it to the highlands. They applied it to that Caucasian or Armenian mountain range. And this happened in recent time. This happened in the Middle Ages. This is not ancient biblical thought. So when the Bible was written, when the Torah was written, the Torah writers were not thinking about the Armenian highlands.
All right, I'm
They
back.
were not thinking about the place that's labeled Mount Ararat today. That is a modern appropriation, a Middle Eastern appropriation. And hold on, real quick, if I may, let's be some Wikipedia warriors, because I know a lot of brothers want to run the Wikipedia. You can just go to Wikipedia and see this. You can just Google this. You don't got to buy deep sources on this. All you got to do is type Mount Ararat into your address bar. Mount
Yeah,
Ararat.
while you do that, because I'm assuming you're going to pull it up, I'm going to
Mhm.
move to the next source that deals with where it actually is.
Okay, yeah,
Mount Judah.
bring it out.
This and by the way, y'all, I actually brought this out in past videos. So if he actually like watched my stuff, he would know my position when it comes to all this. Let me actually move to the video, the specific video. So are you can bring up your source and then I can bring up mine.
All right, cool. This is not going to take that long. As you guys can see, you can just go to Wiki and look. Type in Mount Ararat in Wiki. Type it in. We're going to be Wikipedia Warrior, Google Warriors for a minute. Mount Ararat, Wiki article, as you all can see. This article is about the place in Turkey for the use to see Mount Ararat, not to be confused with Mount Ararat or Arfat. Right? Breaks down where it's at, highest peak, yada, yada, yada. Now, look, this is the part you want to see. In Europe, the mountain has been called by the name Ararat since the Middle Ages. This
The
is not
Middle
even
Ages, not the Iron Age, not the
not
Bronze
the
Age.
Iron Age, not the Bronze Age, not the time of the purported Torah writers.
Not
Not
even
this.
antiquity.
Not antiquity, bro. This is common era stuff. So when people say, "Oh, Mount Ararat is over there in Armenia," it's in Yerevan in Armenia. That is an association, an appropriation that was done in the Middle Ages.
Wait. So you're telling me that Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth aren't Caucasians? They're not from they're not from Armenia, the
They're not
Caucasus.
even they're not even from Armenia. And furthermore, wherever the land, wherever the ark landed, has no bearing on who the people are. The people dispersed from those areas, and that's what Josephus tells you. But it's so funny that they hinge on this Mount Ararat doctrine that it has to be in Armenia. This is a very new concept, not ancient. Even in the wiki article, it tells you in Europe, the mountain has been called by the name Ararat since the Middle Ages, as it began to be identified with mountains of Ararat described in the Bible as a resting place of Noah's Ark. Despite contention that Genesis 8:4 does not refer specifically to a Mount Ararat.
Ooh.
This is in the wiki article. So we can be Wikipedia warriors on this. Okay? All right, so then it goes in being a principal national symbol of Armenia.
Yeah, this is Armenian nationalism. That's why.
Right. Exactly. That's all it is.
By the way,
And
if you don't mind, Yeshub, can you type in Horians on Wiki?
Yeah. Let me get the myth of the origin.
Yeah. When you're done, type in Horians.
Right. So the Genesis flood narrative was linked to the Armenian myth of origin by the early medieval historian Moses Koronatsi. Koronatsi was a prominent Armenian historian from the period of late antiquity and the author of the history of the Armenians. In his history of Armenia, he wrote that Noah and his family first settled in Armenia and later moved to Babylon. And Hayek, a descendant of Japhet, a son of Noah, revolted against Baal, the biblical Nimrod, and returned to the area around Mount Ararat where he established the roots of the Armenian nation, which we do agree with. We do agree that Japhet established the roots of Armenian nation.
Yes.
But this part right here is straight baloney, man. He came up with this concept. He is responsible for this concept. Mount Ararat being in Armenia hits his inception with this man here that lives in the Middle Ages. We have to look too far. Wikipedia. That's it. All right, you got your source?
Yeah, I got it. So y'all can check out this video, by the way, where I actually like talk about it some more. This video is titled "From Shem to Eber to Abraham," and I start from Adam all the way to the flood, but we're going to focus on where the ark rested. So I would say that the ark rested in a place called Mount Judy. And Mount Judy, the name actually means place of descent, the location where the ark came to rest after the flood, according to very early Christian and Islamic traditions. And when they say very early Christian, we're basically talking about Hebrews, because as we all know, the first early Christians were Hebrew people. The 12 disciples, they're Hebrews. So I would say that it's very spot on, but it even goes further back than that. Jewish, Babylonian, Syriac, Islamic, and early Christian traditions identify Mount Judy as a peak near or northeast of the town of, I'm not going to pronounce that, at the headwaters of the Tigris River, near the modern border with Syria and that of Iraq. So basically, Mount Judy is a little bit north of Syria and Iraq. And again, this has been the tradition of Jewish Babylonians, Syriac, Islamic, and early Christians. I go with their sources rather than the early Middle Age source of Mount Ararat, the Caucasus being the homeland of the Ark.
Oh my goodness gracious, it is over. Did I call it, Daniel? It's over. It's over, ladies and gentlemen.
So it seems like I'm going to have to redo a video on that here soon. So also, I would like to add that the Samaritan Pentateuch, the Targums, the Book of Jubilees, Josephus, Julius Africanus, Eupetus, and various others basically all say that Mount Judy is the true location of the resting of the ark, not Mount Ararat in Armenia. Again, not Mount Ararat in Armenia. Changing. I was about to read it. Okay. So let's go to the next one. So here is Mount Judy. By the way, somebody in the comments, Yitzhak, my brother, Mount Ararat and Mount Judy is not that far, even that far. It is actually kind of far. Mount Judy is north of Syria and Iraq, and Mount Ararat is in Armenia. Here is where Mount Ararat will be in Armenia, and Mount Judy is over here. That's a couple of miles away. That's pretty far distance. My brother. So let me actually show you. By the way, here's another reason why I would say Mount Judy is the location, because Ron Wyatt, a very famous Christian historian and archaeologist, went out and found this very interesting spot near Mount Judy that looks like a ship could have been. And that, when the ship broke open, as you can see right here, it kind of left a long-standing imprint of where Noah's Ark would have been. So I would say that makes sense. And changing history. Oh yeah, Christians believe that, by the way. Y'all probably need it. Yeah, we probably do need to do a video on Armenians. Yeah, I've done a few videos on Armenians, and in my current videos, I'm still going to keep talking about Armenians and Caucasian peoples, especially in connection to haplogroup J. But yeah, if YouTube's down, I can definitely do a video on the Armenians. But check out some of my older videos as well. I have a video titled Torgorma, Armenians and Anatolians, and there's some interesting history dealing with them in that video. But yes, I will touch deeper into Armenian history, Armenian people, their genetics and stuff like that. We do have to know about these other ancient Near Eastern peoples to get a good grasp of the ancient Near East. We should have, respect these people and kind of know their history. But so you're right. I can do that with YouTube, and I have current videos and I have upcoming videos dealing with the Armenians and their ancestors. So I'm going to show you another map of Mount Judy. Actually, it's not in this. It's right here. So here's another decent map. Mount Judy right here, like I said, or also called Ahudi, north of Syria and Iraq, all the way down here. Not all the way up here in Armenia and the Caucasus. Shem, Ham, and Japheth are not Caucasians, or at least the Ark didn't rest in the Caucasus and rested a little bit north of Syria and Iraq. Here's just another image. Just show you again from further out. Again, Again, when I redo this video, I'm going to use these images. But but like I said, and like Yeshub said, Mount Ararat, it was something added in the Middle Ages. It's not ancient. It's fairly recent. It's not even 2,000 years old. Like, it's not even in antiquity. Like, come on now. So yeah, is there anything you want to add to that before we get to the next part?
I mean, it's just simple and plain. People need to do better research and employ research methodology on these things because we don't think to look these things up and verify them because it's became not dogma. It's a word for it. The
We're just
Catholic,
used to hearing it.
yeah. So when you echo a sentiment so much, like it becomes ingrained in. It's like a catechism. I think it's called catechism. The Catholics call it a catechism, where it's this teachings that everyone believe and they repeat.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much how we treat this Mount Ararat thing, even though it's a concept that was not in the minds of Moses. It was not in the minds of the Torah writers. This was something that came along in the Middle Ages and was adopted and spread like wildfire, just like the Catholic religion.
Mm-hmm.
These concepts were coming in, foreign concepts that were not a part of the Torah institution. So we have to be mindful of that, and just up our research game. That's all.
And I knew people would say things like that. That's why in my very early videos, when I was first starting out my YouTube channel, I made sure to cover that part that that the ark didn't rest in Mount Ararat, because I knew people were going to push that, and they fell right into my trap. The only problem is I didn't even read and watch the video. But yeah, Mount Judy is the location, not Mount Ararat. Anyways, so let's get to the next thing. So now here's the part where he's just blatantly racist. He says, even B1A has nothing to do with Israel. Hallelujah. Uh, he hath not dealt so with sub-Saharan Bantus. Blessed be he who changes creatures. What is your thoughts on that comment? You can read it yourself, Yeshub, and give me your thoughts on that.
What this is doing is revealing his races, because this is not a part of the Torah institution. This is not a part of the thoughts of Moses, the writings of our forefathers. It has nothing to do with the Bible. This is something that he conceived and either conjured up or he got it from another racist. Nowhere in the Bible does it say any of this stuff. First of all, I would never say that because the concept of sub-Sahara doesn't even exist in the Bible. Bantus that wording does not exist in the Bible. They said, blessed be he who changes creatures. So he's either using some kind of new age text and going off of that, which is very interesting and shows that he's not really a Bible believer. And I think one of these guys levied the accusation that we don't believe the Bible, but as we can see that we're actually more.
Well, actually, I don't mean to cut you off, but that I've actually heard that before. I've heard it quoted by a person who reads. I wonder if I should say the person's name, but I know who can get us that quote. I've heard that quote before.
Yeah, that's got to be new age stuff, man. That has to be.
I'll put in the private chat.
That has to be like 1800s onward, because there's nobody that's going to be calling people sub-Saharan Bantus 2,000 years ago or 1,500 years ago. But the point is, this is not a biblical source. This is something that they conjured up to spew their hate speech. Just like what we covered on the channel before. Hamites being designated black because they're slaves. That was conjured up also in the Middle Ages as well. That's something that comes from the Middle Ages as well. Just to incite hatred towards people of dark skin. It's definitely not the ancient Talmud. The ancient Talmud does not say he have not dealt so with sub-Saharan Bantus. It would never say that. It's impossible for it to say sub-Saharan Bantus. It's impossible.
Yeah, I know. But some people.
It's, you know what that's called? That's called an anachronism. That's just like saying, "Oh, I have this ancient Egyptian text that says I microwave Pop-Tarts in my microwave oven." They don't know what the hell a microwave oven is.
You should have went with the ancient aliens thing, though. The ancient Egyptians had hover bikes or something.
Yeah, like it's something
Helicopter.
that's clearly out of place in time. Or someone
Yeah.
2,000 years ago or 1,000 years ago saying that they watched the Little Mermaid. That's a clear indication that that's fake. That's a false narrative because there's no way someone 2,000 years ago or 1,000 years ago watched the Little Mermaid. That's an anachronism.
Right. Gonna go to the next comment because I think he digs in a little bit deeper on this. And then once he's done saying some of this stuff, once I'm done reading some of this stuff, I want you to bring out that Bronze Age paper that deals with, I think it says Bronze Age Levantines going.
I got you.
Yeah, you can get ready to bring that up here in a second. So he says right here, and also bring up that paper about Jews having our DNA from 3,400 years ago. So he says right here, E1B1A has nothing to do with Israel. Hallelujah. Bantus will listen to this part. Bantus will cleave unto the Jews. He hath not dwelt so with sub-Saharan Bantus. Blessed be he who changes creatures. Very fascinating this is. And it's funny because if W.H.I said this,
Oh yeah,
there'd be a
they'll
whole
be getting
uproar.
flagged. ADL will come down on them, saying hate speech, all type of stuff. But since the W.H.Is are saying it, no one's saying anything. Mums is the word. Mums is the
Complete
word.
uproar. Let me see. There's another comment. Let's see. So he says right here, and guess what? Wait, no, he says, and guess what, Gentile? That's so funny. And guess what, Gentile? And by the way, when he's making these comments, just think of his voice. Like, imagine him saying this to you. I should play that audio one more time so y'all can. But I won't play it. I'll play the audio one more time at the end of all this. He says, and guess what, Gentile? You won't be entering into those gates for the children of Israel. Man, that sounds like BHI doctrine, but this is WHI doctrine, so maybe that's why.
Right.
The Judean Jew said a prayer every time they entered a dark-skinned person. Oh, wait, excuse me. Encountered a dark-skinned person. That sounds so much like BHI, just reversed. Blessed be he who changes creatures. Jerusalem Talmud. So okay, so it was something like that. That means what the Judeans weren't black. So I stopped a lot and laughed. So I'm going to read it completely through without laughing and stuff. So he says, and guess what, Gentile? You won't be entering into those gates of the children of Israel. The Judean Jew said a prayer every time they encountered a dark-skinned person. Blessed be he who changes creatures. Jerusalem Talmud. That means what? The Judeans weren't black. So I think this dude might be a racist.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder what gave it away. Yeah. So
and reverse all that, by the way. I don't mean cut you off, but reverse all of that with the black part with white. I mean,
if we want to quote Talmud, the Talmud says that the Jews were black as pots. The Talmud says that. The actual Talmud, not the one that they're concocting and making up that say sub-Saharan Bantu. Newsflash: when the Babylonian and the Jerusalem Talmud was being concocted, there was no such thing as the word sub-Saharan. There was no such thing as the word Bantu. Idiots. But if you actually have the Talmud, let me see if I still have this PDF. Let's see if I can find it.
It wasn't my first time hearing that. I know an old friend who's made that statement. Also, the Mishnah talks about boxwood.
Right. With
Ramel,
Jane White. Boxwood ain't white. You and I are boxwood.
Exactly. Yep. Actually, I think I have images of boxwood. I might pull it up here in a second. But Rabbi Harry Rosenberg, when he was talking to Dr. Brown, he touched the table and gave the table as an example, and the table was our skin tone, if not a bit darker.
All right. So I can't find that Talmudic reference. I wasn't ready for that one, but in the Talmud,
Man, you got to be ready for these W.H.I.
Right. In the Talmud, it says the Jews' skin was black as pots, and it makes reference in the time of Nebuchadnezzar. It might be in the Safaria. Let me look Safaria up real quick, see if I can pull it up, because I think I did pull it up in Safaria before.
Now that's interesting. I didn't know about that. I know about the Mishnah talking about boxwood, but I didn't know about the Talmud talking about.
Found it. It's in Megillah 114, actually in the Talmud, right? So let me share my screen.
Dang, you're gonna debunk this dude with a source. Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
With the Talmud that they claim that they're that's saying that sub-Saharan Bantus are being condemned in, which doesn't even make any sense, because they wouldn't even know what the hell a sub-Saharan. If you went back in time and a time machine and went back and said sub-Saharan Bantu, the people will look at you crazy. Come on, man. This is from Ayin Yaakov, Megillah 114. It says, Samuel said, Asarus has the meaning black, i.e., in the days, the faces of the Jews were black as the bottoms of pots. That's what the Megillah says.
Oh, snap. That's powerful. That is actually powerful.
There's another one, I don't know the reference of it off the back of my head, that talks about our women being brown. It says that too in the Talmud. Oh, no, that's metaphorical. It's esoteric. It doesn't mean that they were actually dark skinned, because black is evil. Black is wicked. Black is detestable. So anybody black is detestable. Hey, these are God's chosen people. There's no way they can be black. There's no way. Let's get now let's go to the Mishnaic writings. I believe it's Mishnaic, right?
Yeah.
Eleazar.
Eleazar, yeah. I also have it too if you can't pull it up. I want to have Arabic writings too that say it.
I want to get, I believe it's 9, ain't it? And 24. My memory ain't all that great.
Let me double check in my thing.
Where it says the children of Shem. Let me see if I can find it. Control F this real quick. No, it's not 9. Let me do it like this.
I have it right here. It is chapter 23 from what 24. I have recorded. I mean, 23 or 24, one of the two. All right.
It says here, he especially blessed Shem and his sons, dark but calmly, and he gave them the habitable earth. Now, the beauty of this, why does it say but there? Why does it say but? When you do the research, you understand the reason why it says but. It's because of the European redactors. That's why. The European redactors, because in their mind, dark is always supposed to be fucking ugly. Excuse my language.
Yep.
So when you mention Shem being dark, you got to put that but there. But they black as hell, but they comely.
Beautiful.
And he gave them a habitable earth. I'm going to prove that. We do research here. Remember the guy said we didn't have access to academic sources?
Yeah.
Remember he said that?
Oh, yeah.
So let me pull up.
By the way, some sources also say that he blessed Shem and his sons black but calmly. Some of them also translated as black.
Yes, and that's gonna be revealed in what I'm about to pull up now. I'm actually going to go to Jonathan Scorches in the early modern world and let an actual Sephardic Jew say these things and show you that we're not just blowing smoke up your skirt, man. We're not just blowing smoke up your skirt. We know what we're talking about. We actually research, read, and disseminate information here on the source.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike you guys. Unlike you WHIs.
W.H.I. is always running amok.
You skim the internet on 4chan. What's the other one for all the racist
4chan,
quotes?
it's Stormfront. Stormfront's a big one.
It's Stormfront. And you skim the internet for them, and you get all their memes, you get all their quotes, and say, "Oh, see, you Negroes are pre-Adamites." That's what you are, and that's always what you will be.
Beast of the field. I mean, what's better, being a pre-Adamite or being a beast of the field? If you're a pre-Adamite, at least you're human, but you're just not descended from Adam. Bro, let's go back to the days where we were Hamites. Like, at least we were from Noah. Now we're not even from Noah. Bro.
Right. Check this out. So we're gonna share my screen window. Boom. So this is from the Early Modern World. Blacks and Jews in the Early Modern World by Jonathan Scorch, page number 191. And in this chapter, he talks about what I just told you about the European redactors going over these scriptures with their pro white narrative and their anti-black narrative. It says right here.
Zoom in a little bit, by the way, if you can.
Can I zoom in on Google Docs?
I see the plus and arrow symbol down below.
Oh, okay. That better? Can you see it?
Just two more. Nope, probably good. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I'm going to be reading this paragraph here. It says, I am not trying to link many citations, including here, into the linear development of Jewish whiteness. Rather, statements about Jewish whiteness emerged when and where specific forces made them useful and important. Such was not the case everywhere. For instance, Rabbi Bariah Baru Yitzhak, shout out to my brother Isaac Yeshapira, died 1664, cited in a sermon the previously discussed passage from Pirkei de Rabbi Eleazar, leaving intact the original color scheme for the three sons of Noah. Well, I just say leaving it intact. In the same book, he explains that European redactors looked at the actual writings of Rabbi Eleazar and said, it says black and pleasing. We don't want that. Put black but commonly. Because we associate black with ugly, black with evil, black with sin, black with death. So we got to put but there. Because this is the one exception. This is how it was originally meant to be read. And we know this because thank Yahweh, I'm saying it like the camps. Yahweh, thank Yahweh.
The Most High.
For these brothers that stood on business, that stood on their 10 toes, and was like, no, we're not going to change it. We're going to actually read it how it was meant to be read. And when you leave intact the original color scheme for the three sons of Noah, it should be read like this. Shem equals black and pleasing. Ham equals black as a raven. Yafet equals entirely white. And according to these rabbis, there was no problem. They had no problem with this. It says, which evidently posed no problem for him. So shout out to this rabbi, man. And look, we don't blow smoke here. We provide receipts. Remember what he said, Avery. He said, we don't have access to academic sources.
No books, no nothing.
No books, no nothing. We not educated. He's not even sure we got GEDs. He can't even give us that.
Yeah, he can at least give us that. Come on now, brother.
All right.
I actually see an interesting comment that I want to address before I get back to this guy. I'm not gonna say his name, but he's our brother. But so he says, I'm pulling up some images so I can actually address this completely, because I want to show him something. I don't know if he's ever seen this. So I'm just going to address this really quick. You don't have to pull up his comment if you don't want to. If you don't want
No,
to
we
call him.
want to. I want the audience to know who you're referring to.
All right. So I'm
Which
referring
comment is
to
it? Song of
mystical
Solomon?
order of Israel.
Which one? The one that says
Bottom
also
one.
some.
The very bottom one. Well, actually, the first one, so we can read that, and then the bottom one. So in order of top to bottom.
Okay, he says the Mr. State and ancient Israelites were not black or white. That one.
No, down the last two that he's made at 3:48 a.m.
This one.
He says also Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 6. Don't stare at me because I am dark. It is the sun that tanned me. My mother's sons were angry with me and made me look after the vineyards, but I haven't cared for my own vineyard. So when it comes to this, a lot of people try to say that's King Solomon. It's not. It's actually a Shulamite woman. But anyways, what we just read, what Yeshub just read, was dealing with Shem specifically, which is all the descendants of Shem. It wasn't dealing specifically with the Israelites, but talking about Eleazar saying that Shem was black. But when it comes to this specific person, I want to make it clear that this specific woman, this one woman, was a Shulamite, which is in the Israelite territory. But she may have been an Israelite. She may have been a Canaanite. I'm not for sure. I'll go ahead and just say she was an Israelite. But with that being said, I don't think that this disproves the Israelites being, dark skinned, like very dark skinned, because dark skinned people can tan. Can you go to the next question? Statement, should I say? To the ancient Israelites were an intermediate shade. So I just want to show you this. I'm going to share my screen because this Shulamite woman still could have been quite dark skinned, even though, yes, she's tanning in the sun. So let me show you this example of this man. Can you share my screen? This man right here obviously tanned in the sun, and I know this individual who made this comment. You would say that he is, a black man, but he is tanned, and I would even go as far as to say that he's intermediate. He's not necessarily black. He's not a Nilot. He's not a what other dark skinned people? He's not a Dinka, a Dinka Nilot. He's a brown skinned man, and he tanned. You can see the difference. Let me pull up another image of a tan skinned person, black person, quote unquote black person. That's why I don't like the term black, because really we're brown. I mean,
Can I put a disclaimer out there too? We're not saying that Israelites are not white and black, but what we are saying is that we have ancient attestations to them having melanin in their skin, and a lot of you guys have an issue with that. We have Talmudic, Mishnaic writings. We have a lot of things pointing towards that. The early Christian drawings and depictions of apostles and Christ were dark. They had melanin in their skin. The Russian icons, melanin in their skin. The oldest painted stained glass in the world is in Augsburg, Germany. And Daniel, David, I believe Noah, and two other prophets were depicted with brown skin. Why are you guys afraid of brown skin? Because of the race age that we live in. You've been taught that everything black is unholy, everything white is holy. So when you see black people being associated with people of prophetic renown, of biblical renown and fame, you have a problem with it.
right. And we also call people who are actually brown in skin tone black, only based on their morphology. Like that dude that I just showed earlier, he's technically not even black skinned. He's brown, but he will still be called black. You can pull up my next image. And here's an image of a darker person. Well, I guess he got tanned, so maybe he's not darker originally. But you can see clearly that this man, he tanned. And he even took a photo, showing it. Like this is his actual skin tone, but this is his skin tone after being in the sun. So let me zoom out. So yes, quote unquote, black people do tan. I'm going to show you one last image of a woman, and this isn't her tanning. This is actually called hyperpigmentation, and this is what could have happened to that woman as well, the Shulamite woman, who you say mystical order of Israel was from the tribe of Issachar. Okay, so she was an Israelite. All right, I'll rock with that. So you can show my last image. You shoot dealing with tan skinned black people. So if y'all ever get a chance, look up hyperpigmentation. It's something that can happen to black people and is not a good thing. But basically hyperpigmentation, black skin. This deals with treatment, costs, and treatment. So this woman's original skin tone was like a golden brown. Would you call that a golden brown? And then she got real dark because of hyperpigmentation. And this is something that can happen to black people based on like various different things and issues. Like it's a health thing. But so yes, you can, your skin tones of black people, it can like fluctuate depending on like health and stuff of that nature. So the Shulamite woman could have looked like this, and then after all those years, she ended up looking like this. So yeah, I don't mean to like be rude and call you out like that. I'm just gonna say Yitzhak. Yeah, we all know who you are, Yitz. I don't mean to call you out like that, Yitz, but I just wanted to make that clear to other people who are watching, because this is something that I feel like a lot of people don't know.
Right, and we're pulling ancient sources here as well. Like this is not, you can't say, oh, these BHIs are making this up. No, we're pulling up the Perke de LAs, or we're pulling up the Talmudic references of the Jews' faces being black as pots. We're pulling those type of things up. So, and they even did facial reconstruction of Jews living in the Greek time, and they even had what you would call African features. So,
yep, I can even pull that up if I have to. I mean, even my PTR is a picture of a Greco-Roman period Hebrew.
Exactly.
I mean, I can even pull that up if I have to. Like,
we have the Greek writings. We have the Greek writings describing Jews. They were either honey colored or dark skinned. That was the only two: honey colored or dark skinned, written down. I haven't read one receipt of a Jew being what you would call pale
German,
or white or German or Germani, as they say it. I haven't seen that in those records. And not saying that didn't exist. I'm just saying, according to the records, you got to bow down. This is what I said earlier. Your theory should be molded by the data. I mean, the theory should mold your data. Excuse me. You guys want the other way around. Your ideas and concepts to mold the theory. No, you need to let the data mold it, because what happens is it establishes your falsehood, because it shows and reveals you have a problem with these people being connected to melanated people or having melanin in their skin, which is just silly.
You cut out for a second there.
Oh, I was just saying it's just silly to have an issue with biblical characters being depicted as black or not.
Right.
That's just silly. You got a problem with people having black skin, like that statue you got. It's called a Greek Hebrew, man, and he's got dark skin. Terracotta. You got a problem with that because he has brown skin? That's just racism.
Mm-hmm. And I can actually pull up a few images, but I don't know if we want to. I guess I kind of can do that, since that guy in my comment section is kind of like dissing people with dark skin, and I don't know why. So I guess I can pull up a few bits of evidence of dark skin. First of all, dark skin Middle Eastern types, but also dark skin Hebrews. So here I'm going to pull up this reconstruction of a Galilean. I'm saving it for a future presentation, but I'll go ahead and bring it up now. So you can share the screen. So here is a reconstruction, a facial reconstruction of an inhabitant of Galilee, a Galilean. And I would say this dude, he's darker than even me. His features, woolly-ish hair, brown skin, big nose, dark eyes, So this is one example of an ancient Galilean person from the period of antiquity. I'll bring up another image. I got tons of images, but I'm going to try to.
No, see, Dari Europos shows dark-skinned Israelites, the Moses depiction, and it shows white-skinned Israelites. It shows both.
You want me to pull that up?
But what these people do, these racists will do, they will ignore the black ones. I've heard all type of silly absurd explanations. Oh, the Dark Ages happened, and the Moors came and blackwashed everything. There's no evidence of this at all. Just because you have an issue with seeing people like Moses, Aaron, the Israelites, and the mixed multitude being depicted as dark skinned, you have an issue with it. You're racist. You're racist. That's what you are.
Pulling up a second image. So this is one of the oldest paintings of Jesus Christ in the Coptic Museum in Cairo, Egypt. Let me zoom in. And him and the disciples are clearly, maybe y'all can't really see that. Hold on. They're clearly depicted. Let me just push this over a little bit. They're clearly depicted very, very dark skin. And this is from Cairo, one of the oldest churches in Cairo, Egypt. Let me find another image. Give me a second here. I'm only going to do one more, and it's going to be from that location, Europa, I think it was. Well, actually, before I go to that one, I'm going to show my famous image that I love. This one, terracotta head of Semite. Share my screen. This is a terracotta head of Semite marked Hebrew from the Petrie Museum. It was found in Memphis, and it's from the Greco-Roman period. The Petrie Museum of Egypt, Archaeology of London. And that's the very my profile picture, my PTR. So that's another good example. He looks a lot like me, if you ask me. So let me find another one. I was about to go to another one, but
I got one. I got one. It's actually a literary source, ancient source.
I'll show this one here, and then you can show yours. And then I'm going to try to find the Europa because I have images from that too. So what you see on the left-hand side of your screen is 3 Chaldeans. As we know, Abraham was called a Chaldean. I actually showed this image before. But on the right are Hebrews. Those are Hebrew captives. Let me actually show you the source from this. Oops, Daisy, I'm going a little bit too.
They're depicted semantically black. This is no metaphor for this. This is not metaphoric. They're actually depicted as having brown skin, and this eats a hole into the races.
Right. This is from the 11th century in ancient Greek. The writing up here is Greek. This is from the this is from the Byzantine, written in 11th century ancient Greek. The Bristol Pastoral. It says right here, 3 Chaldeans with Israelite captives. 3 Chaldeans, Israelite captives, and the Chaldeans look a lot like the Israelites, which makes a lot of sense with the idea of Abraham being a Chaldean. So we kind of get an idea of what Abraham could have looked like as well. I think he would have been a dark brown skinned man. In today's world, probably seen as black, probably seen as those sand N words that people love to say. Oops, y'all are seeing all my future information I'm going to bring out. I'm going to quickly try to find the Europa, and then I'm going to move to your next source. My bad, Yushu. I'm going to try to find this real quick since somebody mentioned it.
Go right ahead, because the racists have to see that. We're trying to educate our W.H.I. brothers too, just like we spend time out educating what you call B.H.I. We educate the W.H.I. brothers here because we're YAP and we reach out to all our brothers and sisters, man. Try to educate all our brothers and sisters.
Everybody needs that belt every now and then.
Yeah, we're trying to get you WHIs over your black phobia. Okay. And what we're trying to rid the BHI community of is their white phobia. So yeah, man, y'all in the right place. We give sources, citations, and information, academic references to actually go back on, and actual ancient historic references to go back to, and pretty much draw your emphasis from. So also, I want to mention Tacitus saying that the Jews descend from Ethiopians. That don't even make sense.
Yep, that's another one.
You guys, that shouldn't even make sense.
That's another powerful quote. I'm going to show this last image, and then you can go to the quotes, which actually, fits with the images. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let me
Right.
No, I got this.
When I read my source, and the source that actually says, "Oh, these images of Jews don't match Jewishness," because in today's time, Jewishness is hyphenated whiteness.
Yeah, very modern.
Yeah, it's just basically hyphenated whiteness. You attach white to Jew. That's how you authenticate Jews in today's time. Oh well, you guys are not the white Jews. You're fake Jews. That's how you think. That's
And
your
this,
ideology.
right. And this is why it's good to start all the way back at the beginning when it comes to things. That's why my videos try to start all the way back at the origin of places. Like if Semites, if we're dealing with ancient Semitic populations, they likely came from Africa, if you believe in an old earth. Or they come from the Natufians, who themselves looked not like Europeans, Let me see. Give me a few more seconds here. I'm trying to
Yeah, so
scroll
yeah,
here.
y'all got to get over this color thing, this race thing, man, because y'all pretty much have tried to demarcate people based off how they look. But those people that you demarcate, you might share a common ancestry with. We know two individuals, like a lot of you Europeans like to talk smack, races, call us monkeys and all that. You related to some African Americans. We know two individuals in haplogroup G. So, so I'm just gonna put that out there. We know two individuals that you related to and has a separate phenotype to you, but you do share a common ancestry with. And that's the beauty of learning DNA and elucidating ancestry. It's really the death knell to the races.
Right. Like our brother Yitzhak in the chat, he's a Yemenite Jew and he has haplogroup E. We share the same paternal father, E-P2, Look nothing
Exactly.
alike, but share that ancient connection.
And that's what we should expect if we're claiming this lineage, right? If we're claiming this lineage, the ancient Israelites would have migrated, and would most of this is sex biased gene flow, meaning males are doing the migrating, right? So males will migrate to different areas. You had some Jewish men, ancient Israelite men, migrated to Europe, married a European women with like haplogroup K and stuff, whatnot, and pick up those phenotypes and start to look what you would call the European phenotype. Yeah, men going to Africa, men going into Africa, going to sub-Saharan Africa, picking up the women of the L0, L1 mitochondrial DNA types and picking up their phenotypes as well, changing the morphology of the population today. So a lot of us look different, but we share a common male ancestor.
Right.
It's that simple.
No, you keep going. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah. Our message is the most unifying message because we're not limiting anybody based off how they look or their skin color. We're saying, hey, let's look at the science, look at the empirical facts, and then we make our emphasis. We don't just say, oh, you're black, you're not this, you're not that. Oh, you're white, you're the devil, you're not this, you're not that. We don't approach it that way. We have a more scientific and empirical approach to things here. Okay, you don't see us on here, Deuteronomy chapter 28. We don't do that.
Sure don't even believe in it. Anyways, but you can go to your source, YouTube, and then we can go back to mine. We can pave way back to mine. It's taking me too long.
All right, so this is the beginning of Jewishness by, I think her name is Shane Danaoi. And in this book, page 16 to 17, it says the papyri of the Ptolemaic period regularly contains descriptions of the physical appearances of parties or witnesses to contracts. A few descriptions of, and it has in the Greek there, Jews are extant. Apollonios, honey-colored skin. Sostratos, honey-colored skin. Jonathan, honey-colored skin. Apollonos, honey-colored skin. Philiopatros, honey-colored skin. Diagorgas, honey-colored skin. Nicopoli, honey-colored skin. Dosithios, honey-colored skin. Dosithios, honey-colored skin. We have one here that's honey-colored skin. And then we have Pythocles, which it says dark colored skin. So this is a dark brother here. So these are people with either honey colored skin, which is like a brown yellow, like.
Oh, I can pull up an image of that if you want, because I know that book you're quoting actually.
Yeah. Cue that for me real quick. Cue that for me. Ministratos, he was said to have honey colored skin. The Philistines, he was said to have honey skin. So these people only had honey colored skin or dark colored skin here in the Ptolemaic papyri, in the Ptolemaic period. It says Theodoros, aged about 20, in the middle height, honey colored skin, straight nose, and deeply set eyes. There is nothing Jewish about any of these descriptions. Why does it say there's nothing Jewish about any of these descriptions? Because today we have an idea of what Jewish people should look like in this hyphenated whiteness. All right.
So I'm going to pull this up then. Let's see here.
Yeah, pull that picture up.
So here is that quote that Yeshua just read. Then I'm going to show you interesting matches to that. Let me just zoom in. All this, that's what you just read. So here is tan skin tones, and here's some good examples. You have the, Halle Berry, Rihanna. When it comes to Kim and Kardashian, when it comes to skin tones, you have golden undertones, you have red undertones, you have green undertones. Now, when it comes to honey-colored skin, keep in mind when it comes to honey, it can range from a light brown to a dark brown. And keep in mind, since we're dealing with the ancient world, when was that written? I believe that was in antiquity. They would have been dealing with raw honey, natural honey, not this processed lighter honey. And so if we're dealing with raw honey, this is the type of honey that they're going to be, because this is true, pure honey. Again, raw honey, 100%. You have this and you have this, a light brown to dark brown. So when they're describing these ancient Jews, they can be quite dark. So let's get to more honey images. So here are the various tones, color tones of honey, ranging from a light brown all the way to a dark brown. That's how honey can be. Here are more images. Shades of orange. Honey kind of falls into that orange brown color spectrum. Here's honey right here. It's a bit of a light brown. Again, here's honey. And again, if you mix this yellow with this orange and this brown, it kind of fits in between here. Here's the honey again. And that's actually kind of my skin tone, I would say. So here are some more depictions. You have heavenly honey. This woman has heavenly honey skin tone. And show you some more. So honey right here, all these fit into honey. Even this dark-skinned woman, which is called deep, she falls into that honey skin tone. Here's some more depictions of honey. Let me go right here. So honey would be in the center right here. Here is soft honey right there. So that's another depiction. And again, rich honey. This woman right here, she's called her skin tone is in that rich honey type of area or complexion. Again, rich honey right here. So that's what you can do. You can just type in rich honey skin tones and you'll see what I mean. Let me see right here. Trying to find the word honey. All right, here it is. Honey right there. It's a brown skin tone. Right here, you have medium tan honey and you have deep honey and you have rich honey. So here are the honey skin tones. It's basically a deep tan, and dark skinned people can fit in that. Very dark skinned people, or people we might perceive as being dark. Again, tan, deep. Well, actually, that's not honey. Rich honey. Well, you go on.
There's a depiction of a Jew in Egypt around this time. I have to pull out my my medieval art book. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Expound on that for me. We're gonna go grab that book real quick.
Which part on the skin tone?
Yeah, the skin tones, ancient images, and stuff of that nature. Just speak on that.
Yeah, so when it comes to the ancient Israelites, they would have been dark skinned. let's be real. They would have been like any other ancient Afro-Asiatic population, because after all, the Israelites are an Afro-Asiatic people. I don't think they'll be any different than a Bedouin or an Arabian or anybody on both sides of the Red Sea. I think they would have been typically dark-skinned peoples, ranging from medium brown, intermediate, to dark brown. So, by the way, Yitzhak, I'm not disagreeing with you when you say that the Israelites are intermediate. I agree. They would have been intermediate brown, but we can't forget that they would have been dark brown, and they can be black. They can have various dark brown skin tones, ranging from medium brown to black, because within all brown skinned peoples is the darker skin variants who are black. If you look at Indian peoples as an example, people in India, they have brown skinned people, but they also have very dark black people called the Dravidians. Within all, one thing I noticed is that within all brown skinned ethnic groups, you do have a darker variant, and the Israelites would have been no different. You would have had your brown Israelites, and you would have had your black Israelites. So, and that honey description that we just read fits that. Honey can be a light brown, as we saw, but it can also be a very dark brown. Same thing with what we read when it came to boxwood. Boxwood has a medium red brown type of color, but it can also have a dark, deep red type of color. Same thing with what we read with dealing with the Talmud. It actually literally says black in that one, though, to be honest. it does say black as pots. But going back to the Shulamite woman, she she would have been a brown skinned woman in the sun long enough to tan. I actually can tan. There's a summer once where I played basketball outside, and I wore a t-shirt, a wife beater shirt. And that summer when it was over, my arms and face was dark, but my chest was kind of super light brown. But eventually, my skin tone turned back to its normal color after when winter hit. But I see another comment. Let me see. The bright spot in German appears as though white, and the deep spot. Yeah, that still makes my point about how Israel would have been ranging from intermediate to black, because after all, we know that when it came even to the mixed multitude, you would have had Nubians with them, who are definitely black people. And we know that in the book of Jeremiah, the prophet Jeremiah was saved by an Ethiopian. We know that there was a lot of contact between Israel and Ethiopia. So, it's kind of hard to get away from the quote unquote blackness or Africanness of ancient Israel. But also, real quick, let me try to find that quote or that image I was looking up.
I got this. I got it. Let me go to. I just put it in the Facebook group so everyone can see it. Let me pull it up.
All right. While you do that, I'm going to quickly try to find it. Oh, my bad.
So while we're on the description of these Jews that lived in Egypt during the Ptolemaic time and how they looked, as these things are historic. This is from a book called The Image of the Black in Western Art. And you're going to have to forgive me for the pictures. I literally just took these pictures with my phone as we were speaking and doing the show, so you guys can actually see this from this book. So within this book, you have this image here. It says Egyptian. And it has this depiction, and what you're seeing are actually Jews that are dispersed. But it depicts these Jews as being this color here, which a lot of you guys that are color phobia, you would hate this, right? You'll get upset by seeing that. But it gives you the description here. Sorry if it can't be read all the way. I'm going to actually read from the actual book. It says here, unrestrained by the limited space of Pali de Oro plaques, the events unfold with the 12 apostles standing not one but 16 pairs of men who are labeled according to a list of nationalities given as part of the Pentecost narrative in the Acts of Apostles. So if you know about the Pentecost narrative, Acts of Apostles, who was all there? Jews of all nations.
Mm-hmm.
This is what this is depicting. It says these nationalities, which encompass many regions of the Mediterranean and the Middle East, refer to the origins of the early partly dispersed Jews who happened to be visiting Jerusalem at the time of Pentecost, 50 days after Christ's death and resurrection. Sub-Saharan African zones are not part of the list, but the artists have nevertheless shown the two figures labeled Egyptian as persons of color wearing white robes. This is, as we have seen, meshes with antique and early medieval notions about the complexion of Egyptians, as well as with several other images in San Marco, although these black Jews form a much smaller percentage of the apostles' potential converts than the compressed pairs of a single black and single white of the two Pala de Oro plaques. So you do have these depictions of black Jews, and this is in medieval art. So when we're talking about Egypt and the ideas of what Egyptian complexions will look like, and then pair this with Shady Cohen's work, where it states the Ptolemaic descriptions of the Jews would very well have been honey-colored or dark-colored.
Mm-hmm.
So this is that image again.
Powerful. And fits a lot with the other images we saw too.
Exactly. Do you have yours?
Man, it's taking a while because I have so much stuff. I'm just gonna skim through one more set that I might have it, but we can also
What's also
probably show it
interesting about
another
this
thing.
book, it details what was going on in that time. It also points out whitewashing, because you got people saying, "Oh, Moors went across the kingdoms doing blackwashing." We actually have proof of whitewashing, where you'll see an entire picture white, but its fingertips will be like dark. You can clearly see someone altered that image. So it's a great book. It's The Image of the Black in Western Art from the Early Christian Era to the Age of Discovery, Africans in the Christian Ordinance of the World. And I found that particular quote to be very, very telling, showing a variation of what you would call Jews, which would even include dark-skinned individuals as well. And as we read on the shows before, on prior shows before, because a lot of people say it's metaphoric. We have images, and we can show that this was actually a somatic relationship as well, not just a metaphorical, esoteric relationship. Because you get a lot of African Americans that try to say that because they don't want to be attached to Jews. They don't want to be attached to anything that's biblical or biblically related. So therefore, they say, well, no, they can't. These people can have that shade of skin. It's just a phenotype, man. Get over it.
Spooky. Yeah, it's taking me a minute to find this, but the Doropa. Wait, hold on. I spoke way too soon. The Most High was like, let me just pop you with this one. So here it is. Here's some good images from the Doropa. I can't be too long. I gotta get ready to go to bed because my dad's about to wake up to go to work in the morning. I don't want to be up when he's up because I probably should be in bed. But I'm gonna make this quick. So here is some images from the Europa. I don't know how you say that. But anyways, so you can find this at Alimony stock photo. Here's some more fresco. And so you have different skin tones. Like it's not just one skin tone. A lot of people bring this up to be like, oh, it's just white people or something like that. But it's like, bro, if you look, you can see dark skinned people right here, and right here. And sure, you can find some light skinned people, but look at this light skinned brother. He has an afro. Like many Jews, the Jewfro, as they say, which is very interesting. This is for the 1st century AD, Syria. Here's a closer image. See, you got all types of skin tones. Like it's not just one type of person on the Europa stele or fresco, whatever term. You have from this very dark, I will even downright just say black, to this black as well, to this brown, to this white with an afro. I mean, that's kind of interesting. He has an afro, like a like a Jew or whatever. Here's another image specifically dealing with these two guys. Then you have a little boy down here. His hair is also kind of frizzy. He has brown skin. Kind of looks like my cousin. Again. Oops. So that's where you can find it.
No, you lying. You lying. You read all those images look like Ethan Hawke.
Ethan
They
Hawke.
look like straight up. Who was that that played on Kick Ass? They look like.
Oh yeah,
They look like
that kid, the bad guy, the evil.
yeah.
Forgot his name. Well, you can say Jonah Hill or Seth Rogen. I think it is.
Yes,
They all
these
look
guys
like Seth Rogen.
clearly look like Seth Rogen, Charleston Heston. Look at this. Clearly, they're pasty white, chalky Europeans. Clear. It's clear as day.
Yeah, every time people bring up the roper, I'm just like, bro, have you seen all the images? Have you seen these three men specifically? I mean, even this white guy, he at least has an afro. You don't get an afro out of nowhere. I mean, look at this. It's a good afro too. I'm almost jealous. He's probably not even that white. He's probably got scratched out or something.
Could be. But yeah,
And,
I mean,
we can go back to the comments real quick, and then we can kind of end it.
Okay.
But then again, we could just end it there. Let me just quickly pull this down and go to my comments. I just want to see. But you can kind of say what you got to say while
I was getting ready to close it out, but if you want to address something in the comments, you can, and I'll pull it up.
let me just look real quick because we covered a lot of good stuff tonight, and we made our points. We talked about how Ararat isn't an Ararat. Talked about how he basically called us beast of the field.
Esac says,
yeah.
pull up Moses. Moses and Doropas is brown skin. The Moses one is brown skin. I don't think you want that one.
Yeah, you don't want that one, my brother. You don't want that one. So here's another good well, not image. Here's another good thing he said. Well, I guess bad thing he said, but something we can debunk real quick. He says, share my screen. He says, you can't have blessings and curses if Iwambiwene was not in the land. No Iwambiwene was in Israel in the late Bronze Age or Iron Age. You are finished. So let's finish him with that quote you have dealing with our ancestors having Bronze Age Levantine ancestry. Let's
I got you. But yeah, it's pretty much a death knell to anybody saying that we have nothing to do with the Levant.
Let me read this one more too before we pull that up, because this is another good one. It's basically the same thing. Israelites didn't carry Iwambiwene. There is not a single proof showing Israelites carrying Iwambiwene. Iwambiwene has not been found in Israel or in the Levant to place it being during the Bronze Age or Iron Age. All right. So I think you got some evidence for that. And by the way, none of my videos, I never even mentioned Iwambiwene. I don't know why people keep, like, Hebrew Israelism does the same thing. Jacob Israel, he's like, oh, Iwambiwene. I'm like, bro, I haven't even mentioned it yet. Like, you're overstepping your bounds here, bro.
Exactly. So this is a paper by Mariki van de Lustretz, speaking of the Ibero-Mauritians and the connections of Africans from the Near East to Sub-Saharan Africa. And within this paper, it talks about the genetic affinity of the Tafron individuals, using it with a PCA to estimate the amount of ancestry in the Sub-Saharan African groups and as it relates to Western regions. So it says here, which together the Tafarot in intermediate positions between Sub-Saharan Africans and West Eurasians, genetic links with the Near East have been proposed. So when they say, oh, there's no scientific literature, you guys don't deal with academic literature, there's nothing that says there is. These links include an introduction of early Neolithic Levant-like ancestry associated with the spread of pastoralism. This will also deal with haplogroup E markers into East Africa, less than 4,000 years before present. In South Africa, less than 2,000 years before present. A more recent link is the spread of Bronze Age Levant-like ancestry in Sub-Saharan Africa together with agriculture during the Bantu expansion.
Wait a minute. But didn't he say that we don't have anything dealing with Bronze Age Levant? But this paper says what now? Can you repeat that?
A more recent link is the spread of Bronze Age Levant-like ancestry in sub-Saharan Africa together with agriculture during the Bantu expansion.
Oh, snap. Well, he says read the papers. I'll agree with him. I'll read the paper.
Exactly. We'll read the paper. We'll definitely read the paper for you guys.
Man, oh man.
You want to end it on that, or
I'll end it on this. I was about to get at Yitzhak for a second, be like define black, but I'm not going to do it. Maybe we'll have to talk on Clubhouse, Yitz.
If that picture of Duris is not black, then I'm not black, because that's pretty much my skin complexion, and you're gonna call me black.
Yeah, you have to even define that word black. What does that even mean when you say, he's not black though? Like that's such like everybody has such a different meaning for black. It's like, am I even black? I mean, my skin tone isn't the color of your background picture, which is black.
You have a brown bronze complexion, just like the Duros Europa's depiction of Moses. Now, again, you do have white-skinned people in the Duros Europa synagogue. No one's saying that's not true.
Facts, you do. Yep.
But you're going to ignore the obvious, ostensibly dark-skinned Israelites that are depicted here. You're just going to ignore that. Y'all racist, bro.
I'm just gonna show you the image of this man, and tell me if he's black or not. That's all I gotta say, Yitzhak. Or really anyone. I'm not gonna pin this on you. I'm gonna bring this out to anyone. I'm gonna show you an image of this guy, and he's not mixed, by the way. We know exactly what both of his parents look like because you can look them up online. But tell me, is this man? Now I'm about to show y'all. Is he black skinned? Is he black skinned? Or is he brown skinned?
They call Sean DePaul black.
Can you share my image?
Sean DePaul, light as hell. They call him black. Alicia Keys. Like, come on. Y'all call her black. It's just so hilarious how far you guys go with these racial stereotypes, man. But again, you don't want to call Moses black, or the depiction of Moses black, because again, you got this black phobia in your mind. I'm scared of black. I can't associate that with a prophet. Why would I do that? Black is detestable. It's ugly. It's wicked. It's sin. No, Moses had to be pearly white. It's just revealing the psyche of a lot of you guys and the damage, the ideological damage that the racial theory has done to you. Not just our brothers in here in the YSAC, my brother YSAC or my W.H.I brothers, not just y'all, like to the planet, man. There's so many people that are plagued with that, man.
Yep.
He says Moses in the Dura Europa synagogue is lighter than me.
And also keep in mind the Dura Europa doesn't even have to represent what ancient people like Moses would have looked like, because it's just an artist rendition made in antiquity. They don't know what he looked like.
Right. So it's interesting that they depicted him with dark skin. That's all. Y'all got a problem with that. He said Moses in Dura Europa synagogue is lighter than you.
Again, the people making that really don't know what he looked like.
So maybe he should share with me the image.
Or that too. You can do that as well. I mean, you can put the link in if you want. But also share
no, because I want to go to bed. I won't be over here 1,000 years later.
Right.
SpongeBob would say so what do you say? 28 hours later. I don't want that.
Right, that's true.
Maybe tomorrow.
But you can't share my screen real quick.
Yep.
Is this man? Is his skin tone? I'm gonna be specific with my question. Is this man's skin tone black skinned or brown skinned? Let's hopefully we know our colors. And that's for anybody that wants to answer that question. Anybody. Even I'll type it in. Here, I'll go ahead and type it in myself.
Wow. I went to the Duras Europa's Wikipedia, and they don't even have the Moses depiction. somebody, whoever did this was a W.H.I. And it's like, don't put the Moses depiction in there.
They didn't even put the famous prophet Moses in there.
No, they did. Now I'm looking at it. They have
Creator of the whole faith.
Yeah, they have Samuel anoints David, which all of them depicted are very white-skinned people. Sin of calf, white-skinned depiction. Pharaoh daughter find Moses, white-skinned. Mordecai, Esther, white-skinned. But the Moses one, they don't even have it on the Wikipedia. It's like, listen, hide them niggas in the back.
Bro, that's crazy. Them W.H.I. You gotta watch out for them.
W.H.I.s, man.
But yeah, I agree with y'all. This man's brown. He ain't black. He ain't black.
I was about to go become a Wikipedia warrior for a minute. Wikipedia was like, nah, you ain't using us to show this image, because I wanted the image in the description of what's in the image right next to it.
Did they at least have the images I showed? Those three men who were dark skinned?
No,
dang, they didn't have them.
We probably had to go back and edit it and put that in. And then Yisak will back doors and take them off.
I mean, it'd be great if we just actually went there and took our own pictures.
Well, there's actually YouTube videos of people there.
Oh, okay.
Standing in front of them.
Maybe we gotta like just download one of those videos and post it on our own channel.
Let's see if this is... All right, so this is Moses in the burning bush, but I want the one that James uses. My brother James uses. I wanted to see it.
I can tell where his hair stops and the skin starts. Hello, clearly black as night. That's funny. Actually, yeah, looking even at the color of his hair compared to his brown skin. It's like there's obviously a difference. That's black, his hair, and that's brown, his skin. Like, people just don't know their colors. Yeah, that's Will Smith. Yeah, and we know both of his parents are black. He's not he's not mixed, or quote unquote black. African American, I guess is the correct term. I don't know. But once you're done showing Moses, I can get ready to head out here because I gotta get ready to go to bed.
Yeah. I'm trying to pull it up on one of these sites, but I guess now I just have to Google image it.
Give me a second.
You guys are familiar with it, right? So let me share my screen and window, Chrome tab. So before Google image it, I want to go
like
here.
2 minutes or 1 minute.
Yeah, ChristianCentury.org. Moses in the burning bush mural in Dora Europa's. Is that a white man right there? He looks like he has melanin. His skin is darker than his white robe. It's clear. And it says this is actually a depiction of Moses in the burning bush. That's what we're getting here. I guess the bush burnt his skin brown. I guess that's what happened. Okay. All right. So let's go here. And they're just depictions. You know what I'm saying? But y'all don't even want the depictions to be. Nah, that can't be brown. Nah. But this is the one I was trying to find. Because I think this is supposed to be like Moses and Joshua.
All right, I'm back.
Moses and Joshua and the Israelites and the Egyptians flooding in the Nile or something like that. And you can clearly see Moses has brown skin. He has brown skin. Israelites are depicted as brown skin. The Egyptians are depicted as having brown skin.
Yep.
What's wrong with that, Isak?
And I have brown skin too. Me and you have brown skin. Well,
Yeah,
most
I mean,
of us actually have brown.
Isak just said he had lighter skin than me. No, it doesn't. This is clearly a brown man.
Right.
We'll end it there.
I think the last thing I want to end on is that audio clip.
Go right ahead.
That's a very funny way to end this video. Let me share my screen. Oh man, this guy. Hopefully he sees this video. I'm hoping he does. These W.H.I gotta learn their lessons. All right.
No, check this fucking out, man. I'm gonna ask you a simple damn question. Are you educated or not? What's your high school, you got a high school degree? You got a GED? You got a college degree? What's your education like? Because if you don't have access to these academic fucking articles, I'm not wasting my time on a little prick like you. You get what I'm saying? I don't know where you living in this fantasy world that you can try to demand me get on fucking chat and post and tag your little boyfriends to a fucking Facebook comment, have my fucking phone blowing up. For you? Who are you? You are an uneducated little prick. I know you don't have no education. I know you don't have no college degree. That's why you can't access these fucking academic fucking articles. I know you can't look at these fucking Y chromosomes like I can.
And with that, all we did tonight was read academic papers, as he claims I cannot do. And we read books, and we debunked all of his points. And if you watch my YouTube videos, you will see that I quote nothing but papers. And I am college educated, by the way. Like I said, that very day he made that statement, I made a 92 on my midterm for one of my classes. So, you know, he is just, I feel like he's talking about himself more than he's talking about me. It's one of those situations. But yeah, I am still down to doing a debate. But like I said, it's midterms and I have other classes. So it have to be next week if we do a debate. But I'm still down, Danny boy, if you want to do a debate. Again, like I said, next week. Hopefully you see this. And I guess you can do what you want now. You shoot. I gotta get ready to go.
Isak said they're lighter than him.
Nah. Get set, bro. Stop sounding so Aryan.
Stop sounding so Aryan. You want to be Caucasian?
Yeah, why you trying to make this look like Aryans?
Come on, man.
You can at least say that they're brown. Like, at least say that, but trying to make them Aryans, bro.
Look, man, we debate anybody. W.H.I, B.H.I, Israelite, whatever you want to call them. Agnostic, Afrocentric. What's the other one? The ones that don't believe in God? Atheists. We'll debate y'all. We debate anybody. We send invitations to everybody. But don't be a pump faker, man. Y'all pump faking, not even taking the shot. Y'all not even taking the shot, fam. Y'all talking all this noise on Facebook, social media. Y'all out here pump faking. Stop it.
Is that Trey? We know what the truth is. I ain't finna do all that. See me beating on block with my tumble. If it's beef, we gon' turn it into gumbo. He gon' fall off that ladder, watch him tumble. I get dough, guess that's how the cookie crumbles. Call fire on the play, he's a pump faker. What type of money did you partake in? At the lottos with some models, we was parlaying. You see the roses all carpooling. Call foul on the play, he's a pump faker. What type of money did you partake in? At the lighters with some models, we was parlaying. You see the roses all carpooling. Man, you pump faking, I didn't charge you right, nigga. You see the roses carpooling, little nigga. Man, call foul on the play, he's a pump faker, ain't he? Shit. Call foul on the play, he's a pump faker. Give him 9 to 5 shots on his lunch break. It was really 95 cause he's a cupcaker. I know your homie died now, but what comes later? Sit your silly ass down in that lunch chair, nigga. All big bank Gucci's, yeah I get him, you ain't heard by me. Ops like them Rolls Royce and brothers hurt. Man, it dies the first shot, but sure I made him swerve. I got gang in this bitch, so you better choose your words. Brought the mud in the club, brought the slugs in the club. Broke niggas hanging over, gon' end up like black. Don't even look at my chain, that'll get you whacked up. Bad apple, what's in my bag? It ain't a MacBook. Call foul on the play, he's a pump faker. What type of money did you partake in? At the lottos with some models, we was parlaying. You see the roses all carpooling. Call foul on the play, he's a pump faker. What type of money did you partake in? At the lighters with some models, we was parlaying. You see the roses all carpooling. Man, you pump faking, I didn't charge you right, nigga. You see the roses carpooling, little nigga. Man, call foul on the play, he's a pump faker, ain't he? Shit. Call foul on the play, he's a pump faker. All you do is pump fake, niggas send a shot. LJ, MJ, made him Millie Rock. 100,000 to the face, made me Diddy Bop. Heard they wanna get my chain, they some silly ops. High as fuck on the booth, got the mud on the table. Nerd thought he caught me locking off the judge till I sprayed him. When thugs cry, they start singing like Damon. See now y'all homies at the club writing statements. No Wayno, Powerpuff, Charlie Angels. Professor X, the nigga right out the equation. Holy moly, my neck icier than bowlies. The fuck up on my comment, you the police. Call foul on the play, he's a pump faker. What type of money did you partake in? At the lottos with some models, we was parlaying. You see the roses all carpooling. Call foul on the play, he's a pump faker. What type of money did you partake in? At the lighters with some models, we was parlaying. You see the roses all carpooling. Man, you pump faking, I didn't charge you right, nigga. You see the roses carpooling, little nigga. Man, call foul on the play, he's a pump faker, ain't he? Shit. Call foul on the play, he's a pump faker.
Call foul on the plays a pump faker. Stop being scared to debate, man. Stop hiding behind your keyboard. Stop hiding behind your social media account. Stop hiding behind your Twitters. Stop hiding behind the YouTube comment section. And actually get in the ring, man. Formal debate, 3 15-minute rounds. We waiting on you. We waiting on you. Until then, y'all some young vaginals. And just like the song say, stay the fuck out of my comments, y'all the police. 7 candlesticks up, and I've been telling you niggas, it's not a debate. It's a stick up. Gang.